anything to do with that game. We don't have to talk about anything to do with that.
Did you appreciate that, Mars?
We had
They roughed y'all. They roughed y'all up pretty good.
Camera off real quick.
It's great. It's great seeing Ox clean his camera. Love seeing that. I appreciate nothing about that game. Absolutely,
you didn't like it at all.
I seen LeBron make the craziest 360 layup. That annoyed me.
Which?
No, I don't even know why he's doing that type of stuff. He just be tryharding when he comes up against us. Hate that.
I can't leave out that Anthony Davis went off on you guys. I thought that was a really productive game from him.
He started slow. We were playing good defense, and then he just started making tough shots. And then once you see the tough ones go in, the easy ones, then you can't stop that. Then our half-court offense was cooked, so then we were just getting cooked in transition. Then Austin Reeves had like a stretch where he was cooking us. Yeah,
I think Mars
didn't enjoy that.
I also think that y'all got pushed around, and I think that's what got Udoka and that's what got Coach Udoka and James into it, because the fact that you guys were getting pushed around, he didn't appreciate that. I mean, the Lakers are not considered a physical team. I mean, I don't think anybody up here would say that the Lakers are a physical team. You know, they're not a physical team, but the fact that they basically, had their way in the paint. Not only did they have their way in the paint, but they had their way in the perimeter. They can get wherever they wanted to go. And they basically pushed them around. And I feel like Coach Udoka didn't appreciate that. So he wanted to, it's like a coach getting a tech. So it's like a coach getting a tech to fire up his crew. He was trying to do the same thing with his crew. Just basically light a fire under those guys so they could get tougher. And unfortunately, they got them tossed.
Well, did you hear what Ime Udoka said about not the conversation? We'll get into the conversation in a second. But post-game conference, did you hear what he said about the just the game, the Lakers and the Rockets?
I didn't hear all of it, but I did hear him say that.
He echoed what you just said pretty much about we're getting roughed up by a team that doesn't rough up anyone, and that's kind of a problem. And we're getting away from the stuff that was making us successful early on in the season. People acting like we've already done something when we've done nothing. And I agree with him. And I think that's why we're 0-8 on the road, because it's all fine when you're at home and the fans are with you and there's not really much adversity. And then you go on the road and fans are against you and you have to bring that same energy and it's just never there. And then obviously the craziest lack of consistency from Jalen Green is getting annoying. Fred
Sounds
Van
like you
Vliet.
just about had it, Mars, with Jalen. You ain't there yet, but you're getting close.
Nah, like I'm
Sounds
not.
like
if I'm objective, like if I'm trolling, he's still better than Michael Jordan. But if I'm objective, like the lack of consistency hurts the team. Like it clearly hurts the team. Sengun, I mean, Sengun's great, but we can't be relying on him to score on Anthony Davis as our primary source of offense. That's just not sustainable. That's meant to be a game where the Lakers' perimeter defense with guys like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell, that should be where the advantage is, and we just couldn't create anything. I want Amen Thompson back. That would be great. I'd like to see some more Cam Whitmore minutes, but I get maybe Ime doesn't think he's ready. He's going more with the old guys, and that's perfectly fine. But the road record, just needs to be fixed. We're very good at home, and I think the stretch we had in November, I said going into the month, I said the stretch we have in November is ridiculous. When I said we got the Kings, the Lakers, the Nuggets 4 times, the Clippers. We still have the Nuggets again on Friday. Right. But then after that, we have a more friendly schedule, I would say. We've got the Spurs coming up. We've got the Grizzlies. Then we've got a few East Coast teams. So the schedule's getting easier. I think we've got through the hardest part. We weathered the storm. We're now 8-9, I think. I would have took that after seeing the schedule. I just want to figure out the road record. The road record. And hopefully our defense can stay at this level and some offensive consistency, mainly from guys like Jalen and Fred Van Vliet. And I think we'll be fine. I'm still aiming for 35 wins. I don't think the playoffs is the aim. Maybe it is for them. For me, 35 wins and an identity. And I see the identity with defense. So now it's just about getting results and winning games on the road. That's
you figure that's the vast improvement from a team that won 22 games a year before to have a 13-game plus side. I mean, I think that'd be great for you guys. Plus, Jalen Green would show improvement. Sengun, looking like one of the best big men in the league right now. Your rotation guy, like I said, I still feel like you got to steal in Cam Whitmore. I think there's some things that need to be figured out. I don't think toughness is one of them. I think that you guys are tough because Ime Udoka. I don't think he's gonna let you guys be just a soft team on a regular. Like you get on the road, what you do is you revert back to those things that you did last year. So when I watch you on the road, there are games that you're in the fourth quarter, but then you'll turn the basketball over late in games or in the middle of the fourth quarter. You'll turn the ball over or ill-advised shots. That's about being young, and that's where Coach Udoka comes in to reel that in, right? So he'll have Fred VanVleet as the vet who's calling Jalen Green off the long ball line as he's shooting a 22-footer off one leg. Now, okay, that's not conducive to what we're trying to do because we're in the ball game. We're trying to win it. So with that being said, the toughness I think is there. I just think it needs to be more consistent, more than anything. And again, Sengun is growing. Sengun is getting better. So I don't think that the Rockets are that far away. I think you guys are competitive, and I think what happened on a Saturday night was, I think that was I don't think that was a microcosm. I think that was something small. I don't think that's who you guys actually are.
One of the biggest issues for young teams is always consistency. There's nothing new with us. I don't think we're the exception. I mean, young teams always struggle with consistency, and whether I like it or not, Jalen Green is one of the more inconsistent young players who are already inconsistent. So it's going to be a process. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm not going into every game thinking, yeah, we're going to win. I mean, I'm just hoping to be competitive, in which we have been in a lot of these losses. Now, the loss on, was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday, I think, wasn't competitive. I know it was a 10-point game at the end. That game was not competitive. We lost that game handily. But overall, I think we've been pretty consistent. We lost the game to a James Harden game winner. That was painful. We've been very competitive with the Warriors this season. We were competitive with the Lakers when LeBron went crazy the second time we played them. And then the games we've won have also been competitive. We beat some good teams. So I think if you would have told most people before the season, Houston would be 8-9 after their first 17 games, seeing the schedule they had, people would be surprised. So I'm still optimistic. I'm still happy with what I've seen from the team. And I think we're on the right track.
The problem that I'm having with Jalen Green, Moss, is that what are we in? Year 4 now?
3.
Okay, so we're in year 3. So we're in year 3. The things that, don't get me wrong, I don't expect him to take this gigantic leap because he's still young. I think he's 21 years old, just like I feel with Evan Mobley. But I think that there should be, on some level, the stuff that I was doing in year 1, I still shouldn't be doing that in year 3 in terms of mistakes. Those should be cut down. So his shot selection as a 2 guard, I should have a better shot selection. Don't get me wrong. He does have the green like the rock, and I think he should be better off the dribble than he is. I think his shot selection off the dribble should be better. I think his shot selection at the long ball line should be better. And I feel like he should be a better defender too. I feel like where he is as a defender, the athlete that he is, and I don't think that everybody that's athletic can play at an all-league defensive level. Because again, Mars, we're talking about basketball IQ. We're talking about guys that actually play defense and know how to play defense. Like Joker, for example. Joker actually is trying to play defense. He's just not that good at it. Just because you're a great athlete does not necessarily mean that you're going to be good at defense. But I feel like Jalen Green should be better at defending. I feel like his ability to recover should be better. I definitely feel like as a rim protector and a shot blocker, he should be better. He's 6'6". He should definitely be able to get the shots more on the perimeter, dealing with guys. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate what the skill set is on the perimeter, but he could be a better shot defender than what he is.
I didn't like his defense against the Lakers, so I'm not going to argue against that. But overall, I think his defense has actually been pretty good this season. I think there's been major improvement. Now, can he still get better? Yes, but I think he's getting around screens a lot better. He's not dying on screens. I think his recovery's actually been pretty good. Now, the Lakers game, I think he was out of it after the first quarter, and that's not an excuse. Play the full game. Don't let your energy levels drop. None of that. That's unacceptable. But I think his defense has been pretty consistent. And the shot selection thing, I don't think his shot selection is that bad. I think he does take like those shots at the end of quarters and stuff that I have no problem with. I see a lot of players protect their field goal percentage and stuff because they don't want to shoot those ones. He takes them every time he's in the game to close a core. I have no problem with that. He misses them damn near every time, but I still have no problem with that. Take the shots because if they go in, that's an extra 3 points that your team wouldn't have had if you didn't take it. So I don't mind that. But the handle, I 1000% agree. I don't know if it's a Jalen thing, but his left hand needs to improve urgently. There's no reason why he can't go left as well as he can go right. He's losing his handle way too much driving left, and that limits him in what he can do going to the rim. So I 1000% agree with that, and he still needs to get stronger. And I think the strength will come as just as he develops into his body. But if there's things he needs to focus on, I think is more the consistency, the left hand, and then just being stronger. Those are the 3 things that I think are like the most glaring issues. And then I think most people can see the talent and the potential. It's just whether or not he'll reach it. And maybe it's taken longer than most people would want, but I think it's too early to write him off.
Yeah, 100% too early to write him off. 100% too early.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like Jalen Green is what, he's 21.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is because of me. Like this is one thing I do. I genuinely think a lot of it is because of me. So
Jalen, you might have to stop watching the channel.
Jalen.
Yeah,
my fault, Jalen. I might have put a bit too much of a burden on your shoulders saying you were Michael Jordan. Maybe a little bit. If I didn't do that, I don't think many people would be as harsh on you for this season as they have been. So maybe that's on me.
I think Jalen Green deserves the pressure that's on him, though. Whether it's you or not, Morris, like he's that good. But it's also a couple things that factor into it. He's 21. He still needs to get stronger, which goes into the fact that he's 21. He still needs to get smarter, which goes into the fact that he's 21. He still needs to work on shot selection. It's a lot of things. But also, too, keep in mind, he has a whole new roster around him. Not whole new roster, but he got a couple guys there that he didn't have last year. So it's an adjustment. He has a whole different coach that he has that he's still getting used to. Also, too, if he is playing defense more now, which it looks to be the case, and also we know who's the head coach, Ime Udoka, who will get to what him and LeBron said to each other back and forth. But you know Ime's pedigree. You could tell by the way he was talking to LeBron that even reconfirmed the type of guy that Ime is. So if he has Jalen Green playing defense for the full duration that he's out there, offense is going to feel a little different. Like it or not, if you haven't been playing defense and now all of a sudden you're playing defense to your fullest potential and fullest capacity, you're going to be a little gassed on offense. So that's an adjustment too. It's a lot of moving parts, and for a 21-year-old, it might be tough to grab everything in the first 15 games.
But see, Ron, that's the thing, man. I mean, what we're doing is that we letting guys off the hook with that because you play offense and you're a great offensive player, you're a great scorer. That doesn't negate that you can be an awesome defender too. I don't want to let these guys off the hook with that. Like being a quote unquote great two-way player, that is not a premium. I've said this to you in the past, Ron. The cheese comes with the burger. It's not extra. You don't pay extra for the cheese. So if you're a guy that plays on both sides of the basketball at an elite rate, that shouldn't be something that we should be surprised about. I shouldn't be asking a guy who plays offense that, well, you can't really be that good defensively. Yes, you can, because I've seen guys who play offense and are awesome defensively too. So no, I'm not gonna let a guy who's 21 years old like Jalen Green, who's sure he doesn't have the basketball IQ yet that some guy in year 6 or 7 has. Sure, I understand that, but I'm not going to let him off the hook and go, well, you play a lot on offense, so on defense, you might not be that good. No, you can be an elite offensive and defensive player. You can be that.
Not only that, Showtime, it shouldn't be a should thing. It should be a must thing. It should be a must. I've always been of the mind that when you're a great offensive player, it should be easier to play defense because you understand the angles of where the offense is going. You should understand the counter move that's coming. You should already know the spot that this offensive player is trying to get to. It's a mental thing to me. If you know how to play a high level of offense just by understanding spots and angles, you should be able to stop that on the other end. And especially as a high level professional athlete or whatever, I don't want to hear that. Oh, well, he was tired. If you're tired, sit down.
Yo,
I mean, Ime is sitting these guys. I will say
good.
that.
And is he
and I have no problem with that. And that's the biggest thing for me. Anyone who's watched Houston from before Ime to now, the level of accountability for these young players is something that they didn't have. Last year, you could just go out there, do whatever you want, Steven Silas weren't going to do nothing. It was just play basketball and vibes. The level of accountability that he's holding guys like Jabari, Jalen, Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson when he played, the level of accountability he's holding them to is something that I think is beneficial in the long run. Jalen Green has had games where he didn't play in the fourth quarter because he wasn't doing the right things. Jabari Smith, I spoke about on this show, got benched for Jeff Green in closing games like 2 or 3 times in a row because he wasn't doing the right things. And ever since then, Jabari's been hooping. Now, if Jalen Green's going to turn that corner, we'll wait and see. But the level of accountability that he's at, no one's too good to be on the bench. If I think Aaron Holiday's providing more value than Jalen, you're going to be on the bench. If I think Jalen's not doing the right things, in comes Tari Eason. And that's the right thing. And I think that's something that the team was lacking last year. There was really no consequences to bad decisions or bad plays or doing the wrong thing. And Ime will always take the players to the side. If they take a bad shot, he'll talk to them. This is what you need to do. That wasn't the right play. I want you to do this, blah, blah, blah. And players are learning on the fly. And that's what I like, because we have one of the youngest teams in the league. And I know it might not say that statistically because we have like Bowman on the team and Reggie Bullock, who they don't really play, but they're bringing up the average age of the unit. But with the guys that play, we have one of the youngest like rotations in the NBA. And that's what you need. And that's something we didn't have. So I do think it's a process. Like I don't think everyone's just going to adjust to it in a day. Well, next season, the season after that is when I think you're already going to see the seeds that he's planting now really come to light. And I think that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, and chill. Me saying that, what I said, it was merely just me bringing context to the situation. Right. It's no excuses at all. If you go out there and if you go 2 for 14, I don't care if you have the wrong shoes. I don't care if you didn't get enough sleep last night. I don't care if hey, your mom called you in the morning and said it cussed you out. It doesn't matter. You still got to go out there and hoop. So, like, I'm not necessarily giving Jalen an excuse. I'm not giving him a pass, but I am saying things that are true and that, like, adjustments are real. It's real. Should you go out there and play your best? Yes, but it is things that may deter you from doing that. And especially with him being a young guy, I can see how these things might mess with him. Does he need to let him mess with them? No. Should he be mentally stronger? Yes, but that's how it goes sometimes.
I just always felt like a guy that played on one side of the basketball was a specialist. That's all I've always felt like that. Dennis Rodman, as good as Dennis Rodman was, he was a specialist. He played on one side of the basketball. He was a rebounder. He was a defender. He could score, but that wasn't his job. James Harden is a specialist. I don't think James Harden is a complete basketball player. He plays on one side of the basketball. That's it. Now, don't get me wrong, Mars. I feel like not everybody, I do agree with you in the aspect that not everybody is an all-league defender or can play at an all-league defensive level. I don't believe that everybody can do that. However, I do believe that there has to be some effort there, like Joker. I do believe that there has to be some effort there. I do believe that there has to be some know-how there where you can see that a guy, number one, knows how to conserve himself, knows how to get around screens, knows how to play drop coverage, as I believe, as you guys would say, drop coverage, knows how to play drop, knows when to play drop. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna be able to slow everybody down. But the effort, I can see it. Like I can see the effort from Steph Curry. Even though Steph Curry will never be an all-league defender, I can see the effort from him. He will play defense as much as he possibly can. I might feel like playing within a defensive player of the year that maybe he could have been better. But I do see the effort. And when I see a guy that's primarily an offensive player, that's a specialist to me. That's not a well-rounded player.
Why? I want to get to the bottom of that. Why are we making it seem like defense is just something that it's hard to do? Like, oh, well, he's just not a good defender. But why are you not a good defender? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand now defense. Good defense doesn't mean you stop them from scoring. That's not what I'm saying. Good defense is making it hard. Good defense is making your man turn up the court. He got to change. He got to turn here. You got to turn here. You got to change direction. Good defense is being in passing lanes. Good defense is denying your man when he's one pass away. Good defense is being in the proper spots on help side, seeing man and ball. Good defense is talking, communicating with your teammates. Good defense is boxing out when the shot goes up. Good defense is bumping the cutters. Good, that's good defense. Good defense is when the ball's loose, getting after loose balls. Good defense is you know what I'm saying? Chasing
hustle
is not
plays,
giving up on
like
plays.
Sure.
Chasing down, getting back on defense. That's good defense. Why are we acting like that's a hard thing to do? That's not hard. I don't care what
Against,
anybody
against
says.
against
Not
NBA athletes, some people do have limitations. Now, I agree with the IQ side of things and the effort side of things. Yes, I think everyone should be able to do that and should do that. If you aren't given 100% on the court, I have a problem with that, no matter who you are. But just from some people are just too small. So, especially in today's game, with the amount of switching that happens, some people are just too small for that. Even if they do cut off someone cutting and they bump them, they're just too small to make a difference. Or someone will seal them in the paint. They can make the right effort and be there. And like you said, making the right play. But if they're not making a difference because of how small they are, they're still not providing much value on that side of the ball. That's why I give Trae Young credit, because I think this season the effort has improved and he's more aware and he's doing the right things. But at the end of the day, he's never going to be a very good defender just because he has the limitations. Now, all he can do is just become less of a negative. And I think that's what he's doing. But there are just going to be players who, no matter what they do, they're going to cap out at they might always just be bad. Like, no matter what they do, they lack the physical tools to be anything other than bad. It's just about how unbad can they be to where they're not just a detriment to their team. And I think that's why I give Trae Young credit. He's doing what he can to not be a detriment to his team. And I think this season, you could argue he's been about a neutral. And that's the best I expected from him. So,
well, Mars, I hear what you're saying, right? And that's a valid point. For instance, like the other night we played in Denver. Aaron Gordon gets De'Aaron Fox on the box. De'Aaron's trying everything he can. He's trying to push him off the block. He can't. He's trying to get around him. Aaron Gordon staying big, holding him, and takes a couple seconds, but he finally gets the ball, easy bucket. I understand that, but still, it's the effort. De'Aaron still made him work. I'm more so I'm talking about
the Luka Doncic defense,
trying to turn somebody. And like you said, it's hard to bump cutters when you're smaller. But in the NBA today, they're not just letting guys just mow you down. They're not letting you just blow guys up out of screens anymore. So to me, it's kind of like you can still do it. Now you're gonna get scored on. So mind you, I'm not saying why can't you stop him from scoring. Like, they're gonna get buckets, but it's not supposed to be just watching. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be all of this and matador defense. That's all I'm saying.
And you could be small.
It's not hard to play defense.
And you could be small and get involved in a switch, but still make a difference. Not only that, you could be small and also make a difference by digging in the post, weak side defense, kind of like what John Stockton used to do.
Basically,
like
be a pest.
That's what Fred VanVleet does.
Yeah,
that's what Fred VanVleet does.
Absolutely, you can still be small. Now, don't get me wrong, Miles. If I'm 6'6" and you 6 foot, and I catch you on the block or I catch you on the wing, that's a mismatch, 100% sure. And there are some limitations for you physically, but I don't think that should hamper you totally because you 6'6", 6'1". Because like I said, guys like John Stockton, being able to dig with the big man, being able to off-ball defense, being able to get clean rips and stuff like that. You can contribute in those kind of ways as opposed to just standing in front of your guy and stopping him. And ultimately, if you don't play on both sides of the basketball, you don't have to play on both sides of basketball at an elite level. I'm not saying that, but if that effort isn't there, like you just mentioned with Luka, where when he gets beat, there is no effort to recover. I have no respect for that. None whatsoever. When I watch James Harden, no effort to recover once he gets beat. All he's thinking about is getting back to the basketball. That is a specialist to me. That's a field goal kicker. That's a punter. That's who that is to me.
Damn, a field goal kicker is crazy. But like guys like Trae Young, I would actually expect him, especially as a coach, I would expect him to actually work harder than a dude like Jaden McDaniels. Why? Because Jaden McDaniels can afford to perform on defense at an 80% capacity and still be a great defender. Trae, you have to max out. You have to go above and beyond. You have to do the little things. Your effort has to be on 1,000. Otherwise, you're going to be a negative beyond a negative, if that makes sense. You know, like Kobe can take an offensive play off and he'll be cool. Other guys can't. Like, you have to try your best. So it's like that. That to me, like dudes like Trae, you have to LaMelo Ball, dudes that don't Luka. If you don't have the physical tools, you got to be smarter. You got to work harder. You have to do more.
But Ron, isn't that what you was taught growing up though? I know my pops used to tell me that, yo, you rest on offense. You know what I'm saying? That's where you rest. You rest on that side of the court, on the offensive end. That's where you rest. You don't rest on defense. That's why I just can't get behind the concept of people saying, well, if I'm meant to score 23 points a game, I can't play defense. Well, that's some of the dumbest logic I've ever heard. Some of the dumbest logic I ever heard.
Yeah, for sure, y'all. I'm about to throw this LeBron MA back and forth up on the screen. Before I do so, if you hear you haven't liked the video yet, which is only 125 people that have liked the video, and it's about 1,200 people in here, make sure you slap that like button. Also, scan this QR code below. You can see it right here on the stream, right on the screen. It says grab your merch. Go check out some of the new merch that we just dropped. We got some heat right now, and we got other things in the works that's cooking up right now. We got some fire Christmas merch coming on the way for you guys. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and throw this on the screen. Y'all let me know if you can hear this. This is LeBron and Ime Udoka's heated back and forth. And subtitles are on the screen, so make sure you're tapping in. We'll run it back one more time. One more time, chill. Yeah, if you don't follow PC on Instagram, go follow us, and you can check out some more of the content and get some more insight in the situation. But as you were saying, Chill,
it just looked to me like he was just trying to light a fire under his crew. That's all. Just, stop complaining. Right? You heard what he said. Stop bitching. Right? Lighting the fire under his crew. And James like, hold on, man. We all grown-ups out here. Who you talking to like that? You don't have to talk. You don't have to use that word that loose. Then it turned into what it turned into for me. It turned into being at the park. Like, what you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing about it. So what you gonna do about it? And that's when the referee stood. That's when the referee stood in, and I think it was for him to light a fire up on this crew more than anything, because they was getting roughed up. They were getting pushed around. They were getting beat up, and they weren't getting any calls. And you saw what happened. So ultimately, Coach Udoka looked like he was trying to stand up for his crew, because they weren't standing up for themselves. So he looked like and who better to stand up to than the biggest dude on the block? So
Chill Town, well, did that look like he was basically telling his guys like, yo, you scared of him? Like,
yes, that's what it was.
Oh, this dude, like, yo, man,
exactly
come on.
Was. I trying to light a fire. Yeah, trying to light a fire up under his dudes. Like, yo, you dudes fight. I'll fight with you. Just fight. Don't be afraid of this dude. Fight.
As a coach, sometimes you got to know when to take a tech. Like, I don't know if him getting kicked out the game was the best thing for the team, but sometimes you like. I agree with you.
Not the plan. No.
I agree with you, Chill.
Not the plan. No.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chill. I think he was trying to poke the bear.
That's it. That's all he was trying to do. Get his team riled up. Get some more fight in these guys. Get in the gate. No, I didn't plan on doing that. No.
With that being said, I thought that was a whack ass ejection.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I like. Y'all gotta let these guys talk. Like, just how LeBron said, we all grown men. Now, if it would have got physical, if they would have, came chest to chest, or if they would have, if it was people in between them trying to push them apart and they was doing all of that, all right, cool. But clearly, these is two dudes that are both composed. Like, if it was no subtitles and you couldn't see their lips, I wouldn't have even known that it was even going in that direction. I would have just thought that they was having a regular conversation. It wasn't no fireworks or anything extra that made me think that anything was gonna go over the top. I don't think they should have gave him a tech at all. I think they should have let him talk some more shit and continue to hoop.
Because
Ron,
that's part of the game, Ron. But go ahead, Big Eye.
I think the ref got nervous, Ron. I think he was standing there because y'all got to remember, Ime's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Ime play ball. Ime been in the trenches. Yeah, Ime been in the trenches. Ime not no little dude. And then y'all know Brian come up, burly. You know what I'm saying? I think the ref was kind of like, oh shit. He like, I'm the only one over here. I'm not breaking this up. Nah, get up out of here. Get out of here.
That's my thing with the ref, though. Man, go do your job. Go I know that is him doing his job, but I'm just like, go somewhere. Like let as a fan watching it as an entertainer, I'm trying to be entertained. Obviously, I know the ref has a job to do, but I'm like, man, they can go back and forth a little bit. There was nothing wrong with that at all.
Hey, do it in the chat. Do it in the chat. Say, Ron, that's why you were L host because you're supposed to stop it before it gets to.
Hey man, let the hoopers hoop, let the debaters debate, let the fighters fight. But all right, y'all, we got some super chats. I'm gonna read these, and then we're gonna get into our top biggest surprises so far this season. It's a lot that's going on. It's a lot of things that are unexpected. We did a lot of foresighting and predicting coming into the season what we thought was going to happen. Some things have happened and other things haven't happened, but we'll get into that. But right from the top, Alan R sent through a super chat. He said, speaking of which, MA better respect my precious king, LeBron, Ramon, James, before I have to step in.
Uh-oh, go get him. You the man. Go get him.
Mars, if Alan R steps in to protect LeBron, are you stepping in to protect MA?
Ime? No.
Oh, okay. MA can hold his own?
Yeah.
All that tough talk, you better be able to back it up. I get it.
Yeah.
DSG Piccolo said, after watching the Blazers game, I feel like next year is where we'll really see how good Scoot can be. He scored 17, but I hope he can be more efficient next year.
He's a rookie. God.
Yeah. Right. I mean, come from the G League, just like Jalen Green came from the G League, and you saw what happened when you're playing with a crew that's undisciplined, that doesn't really know what they're doing, and you trying to get acclimated to the pro game in the process of that. It's difficult. It's really difficult. So I'm not giving up on Scoot yet. I'm still on record. I wish they would have kept Dame because I think Scoot really needed him. Really needed him. He would have been able to learn from Dame. You can't to have a guy like Dame on that roster and to have a guy that's in practice every day kicking your ass. A guy like that, you can't get that anywhere else. And he would have been forced to improve because Scoot will compete. 100%.
Chill. I gotta combat that though a little bit because he still has, obviously Malcolm Brogdon is not Damian Lillard offensively, but I might even go a step further and say he can learn more from Malcolm Brogdon than he can from Dame.
As a vet, sure, I can get with that logic.
Well, because what Dame does isn't replicable?
Yes. Especially not for Scoot. That's not Scoot's game. Scoot's not a logo 3 type of guy.
Okay, and I don't have to shoot logo threes, but to Ox's point, on the defensive side of the basketball, I can maybe learn how to defend that a little bit better. I won't be able to completely stop it, but I got a dude that throws the ball behind his back and shoots 26-footers. So now when I see that, when I'm in games, I can defend that better because I'm seeing that every day in practice. A guy getting downhill, I know how to defend against that because I'm seeing that every day in practice. A guy running the offense, and not just running the offense, getting his shot off and getting other guys off. I see that every day in practice at a high level. So because I see that, I can learn that and implement that in my game, as opposed to I'm basically learning on the fly.
I don't necessarily think he's learning on the fly with Malcolm. I think Malcolm has more to teach him than Dame will.
I just feel like I feel like Malcolm is teaching him how to be a pro more than how to be an awesome point guard. Yes, and that's what they got him for. I mean, when you got the number 2, number 3 overall pick, you didn't bring him in. And don't get me wrong, Miles. I understand that all number 3 picks aren't created equal. But if you brought a lead guard in at the number 3 spot, this is my guy moving forward. So if this is my guy moving forward, who better to show him than the guy before him, who's been my star for the last 12 years? Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate a vet in Malcolm Brogdon because I need that in order to understand how to be a pro. But in terms of being a star, I'm not going to see anything like this on the floor other than Steph Curry or something like that. And I see it every day in practice.
Chill. The point guard position is the hardest position right now in the NBA. The night in and night out, you are facing somebody that's like that. I think for the most part, he sees it every game, every other game. He sees somebody spectacular. So I don't the defending part, like I do get you when it comes to like a star allure or taking your game to the next level, being an all-star, being a very marketable guy, being a franchise player. Okay, you can possibly learn something from Dame if he's willing to teach you that. But when it comes to just learning how to guard these guys, he got to guard De'Aaron Fox and then turn around and guard, Trae Young. And then he got to turn around and try to guard Tyrese Halliburton. Then he got to go to Boston to play Drew Holiday. Then he got to go, he has to guard these guys no matter what.
And he does, Ron. And I'm more prepared if I got a guy in practice like Damian Lillard, as opposed to I'm just watching film of Trae Young. I'm just watching film of De'Aaron Fox. I'm just watching film of Tyrese Halliburton. If I'm in practice every day dealing with Damian Lillard, I can understand how to guard great scorers. I can understand how to guard a guy. I can understand how to play with the basketball. I can understand how to run a unit because I got this on my crew, as opposed to a guy who I'm just watching it on tape. If I got this guy in practice every day, I mean, there's really not much. There's really not much that I'm not going to be able to do. If I can't learn this, then I can't be here. I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, no doubt. FIFA Boy said Ron has to unban Fluent from the panel. He's the peacemaker for the panel. El host.
Facts. Unban Fluent, man.
Yeah, nah.
Why would you ban Fluent?
Facts. Crazy, man.
Crazy.
You guys know it's a certain word. I'm not gonna throw it out there, but I mean, you see, like Fluent and Pirate both aren't here. Maybe not. I don't know. But I know that DSG Piccolo sent through another super chat and said, also, Tumani had a good defensive game, especially the block to force overtime. And Walker Kessler better not jump with Shaden or Tumani again. The results will be the same.
That's what you're doing. You're a shot blocker. You get dunked on. Good work, Walker. Keep jumping, Walker.
Ask Mutombo. Ask you. Mm-hmm. You're going to get punched on. That's part of being a rim protector. If you're going to block more shots, you're going to turn away more shots than you get punched on. That's a fact.
Either way, meet you at the rim every single time.
Yeah, you're going to get punched on. So that's part of it.
Yo, do we know what's going on with Walker and why he hasn't been starting?
John Collins.
So
I know he was injured, and then when he came back, maybe that's what it is.
Working back into the
lineup.
Yeah, maybe it's precautionary thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, he's still playing the same amount of minutes as Omer Yurtseven, but he's just coming off the bench now. And I like Omer. I think he slept on. I liked him in Miami. I think Miami should have played him more. And then I can't remember where he played at before that, but I think he's solid. But
he's in Georgetown.
Okay, yeah, I think he's solid, but I don't know if the Jazz see more in him and they want to give him more playing time, because I watched him play the other night. And he was playing pretty well, so I don't know if that's the case, or I don't know if Walker has.
And I think Walker also too.
It might be a floor spacing thing with that.
I was about to say that, Mars. I think
that's what it might be.
I think he's limited offensively. So with him being limited offensively, that might also be another reason why he can't put him. As good as he is defensively, that's probably another reason why he hasn't really been in the lineup that much, which I hate, by the way, because here we go again, big guy getting phased out of the game because he can't shoot the long ball.
Shout out to Keontae George, by the way. Absolutely love his game.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to translate this well.
Yeah, the playmaking's moving me.
Yeah, it looks like the Jazz might have some point guard of the future. I also didn't think he was going to be a point guard either. I thought he was for sure going to be.
Yeah, I viewed him as simply a bucket when he was coming out of Baylor. So they used him at a point in the summer league and then in preseason. So I was like, okay, clearly they're trying something here. And he's adjusting pretty well for a guy of his age. So fair play to him, because I just liked his scoring. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Keontae. Definitely one of my favorite rookies.
Yeah, that's why like scouting, it'd be tough sometimes. Like it'd be dudes where you'd be like, yeah, you're good here. You can score, but when you get to the NBA, is your scoring even going to translate? And if your scoring doesn't translate, what else do you bring to the table? Sometimes it'd be hard, like dudes when they be a star player on a college team or even a high school, it'd be hard to tell whether they could translate. And then bang, they look better in the pros than they did at the other levels. And then it's certain dudes where you're like, he's a sure shot. He's a shoo-in. He's going to be a top 5 player in the NBA one day. And then they come into the league and it's like, damn, why are you even here? It'd be weird. It'd be weird. All right, y'all. Super chat from Mike. Mike says, should the Lakers say F it and start Vanderbilt and Cam?
They should close with them. I don't think it makes a difference who starts. In a sport where the substitutions are, as we would call it, roll on, roll off. Why does the starting 5 matter? Because like you could just start someone and then sub them out in 2 minutes and then put someone else in. Like it doesn't make a difference who starts the game.
Well,
now in crunch time, who closes the game, I think that's important. But starting, I don't. Why does it matter who you start with if you could just sub in Vanderbilt at the 9-minute mark and then get the same effect?
Well, the reason why it matters.
Go ahead, Chitan.
The reason why it matters, Miles, is because guys play better when they start as opposed to guys who don't. And then there's guys who play better coming off the bench because they get to watch the game, they get to understand the game a little bit more. So a guy like Carmelo Anthony, who later on in his career was solid, but Carmelo Anthony is a starter. Ginobili, he might be better. He might be good as a starter, but as a rotation guy playing against second unit guys, I can understand you. I think your philosophy is you're still getting the same amount of minutes. But from a basketball standpoint, when you're watching guys, if I'm watching from the bench and I'm watching how these guys play, I'm watching the sets, I'm watching the intricacies that these other teams have, and I can see that from the bench and then come into the game and implement myself in the game, particularly against second unit guys. That's a big deal for me as a rotation guy. And then you got a starter who, as a starter, I got to get going right away because mentally, if I'm coming off the bench, that could screw with me. That could screw with my that could screw with my game. If I'm playing right from the beginning, even if I'm only playing 20 minutes, you might not get that same effectiveness in 20 minutes if I came off the bench because mentally I'm not there because I feel like I should be starting. I see the game differently. I react to things differently if I'm starting as opposed to if I'm coming off the bench.
So from that standpoint, I'll get what you're saying, Chilltown. I personally think it's more of a perception and ego type thing. I think it's more of a mental thing for most people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, but I'm supposed to be a starter. Like it don't really matter. To me, it only matters from a coaching standpoint. If I want to bring this guy off the bench to be my spark, if I want to bring to keep sometimes a lot of coaches will have their best 5 out here to have our first unit, but then our second unit is down. Some coaches want to have one of those guys be in the second unit so we can keep some type of even kill throughout the game. I don't think it really matters at all if you start or come off the bench as far as your production, as far as how you're going to play. Like if you're this good when you start, you should be this good when you come off the bench. If you're this good when you come off the bench, you should be that good when you start. That's just the way I look at it. I don't think, you know what I'm saying, like how we were talking about Chilltown with Russ, losing and coming off the bench. My thing is if you play 26 minutes starting and you play 22 minutes coming off the bench, what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? But that's how I look at it.
All right, cool. Let's keep it lit. Got another super chat from Joe Dapp. Shout out to Joe Dapp. Joe Dapp said, how do y'all feel about Mikal Bridges 42 against the Magic?
He got that kind of game,
about Joe Dapp super chat.
He do. He's got that kind of game, Mars, where like he could get going real fast. He won't do it all the time, but he's got that kind of game where he plays within himself and he doesn't really do a lot of things that he can't do. And to do that against that Orlando Magic team with the defense that they got, I think they're 6th in the league in points surrendered per game. So that was pretty impressive. He got a lot of stuff in the mid-range, in transition, within their offense, cutting to the basket. I did see a lot of that with him. And he got that kind of game where he could get going within himself. I like that about Mikal Bridges.
That game was over after the first quarter. and Jonathan Isaac ain't play. So that's what happens. If Jonathan Isaac don't play, you don't stop anyone. I don't think that's coincidental. So yeah, I'm still standing on Jonathan Isaac needs to play more minutes. And until he does, the Orlando Magic are cooked because he's their best defender, and that's why Mikal Bridges go off. But I think other than Steph Curry, I think I said this maybe a month ago too. Other than Steph Curry, I think Mikal Bridges is the best off-ball scorer in the NBA. And I don't know if that's high praise or just random, just like a random attribute to praise someone for. But I think after Steph, I think he's the next best thing in the NBA. So
I think Keegan Murray could be that. I really feel like Keegan Murray could be that. But a guy that plays off the basketball, you think he's better than Dejounte Murray? Off the basketball?
Yeah. I think he his feel just in terms of when he's getting overplayed, when to cut, but then his ability to curl off screens or just spot up in transition. He always runs the lanes perfectly, whether that's getting to the rim or spotting up in the corner. As a cutter, he's fantastic. And one thing, like, coming off screens isn't just someone sets a screen, so you just come off and then shoot. He comes off screen so tight, so the defender can't get in between him and the screen. You have to trail him because he makes sure that he's basically making contact with the screener himself. So you can't get in between that little gap to really like stay with him.
Right.
So he's always getting himself open off screens and stuff like that. So those type of little things, I'm like, yeah, I think other than Steph, I don't think there's anyone really doing it.
He's really good at coming off those screens and catching, shooting too, right? And kind of like he kind of gives me a Rip Hamilton vibe with that. I'm not saying that he's Rip Hamilton, but he kind of gives me a Rip Hamilton vibe with that when he comes off that curl and knocks down that open shot. He does give me a little bit of that. I just feel like with him, one of the most important things as a scorer is to play within yourself. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate an aggressive scorer that, he'll take shots that other people won't normally take. But I think that him playing within himself, he doesn't try to do anything that he doesn't know how to do. And whatever he knows how to do, he's going to keep doing it. There's not going to be anything extracurricular with him. If this is working, like you just said, talking about coming off that screen, if I see him coming off the screen and he knocks down that 15-footer, he's coming back and doing it again. He's not going to now do something different, especially if that's working. So
I hear what you're saying, Chill, but I would like to see a little more from Mikal Bridges. The 27 he averaged last year, we all question whether that was sustainable or not. But I'm not liking the start that he's got off to with the season. I hope he picks it up. I hope this 42 is a sign for him to score more. Yeah, Mars. I think
losing Ben Simmons.
You got high expectations. Okay.
I think Ben Simmons was a big deal too, Ron. Don't leave that off the table. Losing Ben Simmons was a big deal because a lot of their offense was predicated on defense. A lot.
Yeah, and that's a fact. And also, too, kind of like to what Mars was saying about Mikal Bridges. Once again, you got to look into the history of Mikal Bridges. Played at Villanova with basically a whole NBA squad. So he was one of the younger players too. So he had to play off the ball. He had to learn how to score in other ways. He had to learn how to spot up, had to learn how to cut, had to learn how to move it out the ball, had to learn how to run the floors. On top of that, that's just good coaching. Villanova's coach, he's a phenomenal coach. But coming into the NBA too, take it a step further. I'm playing with Chris Paul. I'm playing with DeAndre Ayton. I'm playing with Devin Booker. I have to play off the ball. I'm not the number one option. I have to score in other ways. I have to contribute to the offense in other ways. Now it's like that's ingrained in him. He can do that in his sleep. But now that you're in Brooklyn, Mikal, I need a little more as the number one option. I need you to be a little more assertive. I understand that Ben's not there, but even with Ben not being there, now you gotta you got to take things into your hand more.
You think he's the number one option
in Brooklyn?
Yeah,
100%.
This can.
I know they got the best scorer in the NBA over there, but and once like Chill, I feel what you were saying about playing within yourself and not overdoing it, but I would like to see
Mikal winning basketball. That's not going to get it done when you're trying to move ahead. Sure, I do understand that, especially when you are the guy. I do have to take my game up another notch. I can't just play within myself and I'm just going to get 17. No, I got to be more aggressive. I do have to try more things in order for us to win.
Shouldn't Mikal be the first option though? Like I want my first option to be the guy that's going to make the right decision with the ball, not the guy that's going to shoot anything.
I think Cam Thomas will shoot me. I think Cam Thomas is a better decision maker than Mikal Bridges.
As a shooter, as a scorer, Mars.
In terms of when I say decision making, I'm assuming we're talking about playmaking and not just shot selection.
Right.
I
I'm
think
talking about both. I'm talking about everything.
I think a lot of Cam Thomas shot selection doesn't strike me as bad personally. And then when it comes to playmaking, Mikal Bridges does the opposite of me. I just don't think he's very good. And I don't think that's a knock to him. That's why I think he's a great off-ball scorer. The more you try and make him make decisions and give him to put the ball in his hands more, it could do one or two things. He can either flourish in that role and then develop and then become what you want him to be, or he can struggle and he just looks a lot worse than what he actually is in his proper role. That's what I view him more as, the latter. Maybe I'm pessimistic. I don't think Brooklyn have the patience to want to develop Mikal Bridges' on-ball decision-making. Personally, I think Cam Thomas has a better feel in that regard. And I think this season he's improved at that immensely. And that might be a hot take. I don't know, but that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging close to 23. He's basically averaging 23, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Once again, that's not bad for Mikal Bridges, especially seeing how he came into the league as a role player in his first few years in Phoenix. I think a lot of people would think that this was him overachieving, possibly. But I just think, just based on what I've seen from Mikal, I think Mikal got a little bit more that he could unlock. And so we'll see. We'll see.
When you're talking about in terms of shot selection, I mean, what great scorer doesn't have spotty shot selection? You know, not all great scorers only take good shots all the time. That's just not true. There's plenty of great scorers who take questionable shots, and just because the shot go in does not mean it was a good shot. Let's be clear about that right now.
But those look like questionable shots to us. You know what I mean? But to them, that's nothing.
That's what I'm talking about, Big Ox. When Curry throws the ball behind his back twice and between his legs and cracks a 28-footer, it went in. That is not a good shot, yo. Now it might be a good shot
for him. It is,
but I mean, now and then you got guys doing that. And you're like, yo, you can't shoot that.
Right.
That's not your shot. No. And then you got guys in the league stopping 24, 25 feet short of the basket or throwing the ball between their legs. I'm like, you can't do that. No, that's not a good shot for you.
Can't do that. So, but like Dirk though, like when Dirk used to go spin off baseline, take that over 2 defenders. For me, that's a bad shot. For Dirk, that's a layup. For Dirk, that's a layup. He's like, what you mean bad shot? That's what I do. You know what I mean? Like the stuff Kobe used to shoot, or the double pumps.
Kobe took bad shots. Kobe did take bad shots.
Kobe 100% took some bad shots. But there are some shots that Kobe shot that we're like, ooh. And Kobe like, yes, come on, man.
Yeah, they're Kobe shots. They're like,
that's me.
Everyone else, nah. But Kobe, we can live with that one. So that, I think the great scorers supplement playmaking with shot making ability. So where someone else who's not as good of a scorer would have to like make the right reads, because they can't make that shot. The great scorers are so good at what they do that the right play is sometimes them taking the bad shot. And I think that's the balance you got to find when you're trying to be the centerpiece of an offensive player, of knowing when the shot is too bad to be justifiable, and then when the playmaking needs to happen. I think if you want to be like the top echelon of offensive players, so like the Steph Currys, the Kobe's, the MJ, they balanced it well enough to where they scored more than they playmake, but they playmake enough to where teams aren't just loading up on you and saying, well, we know you ain't going to pass, so we're just going to triple team you and you're going to do nothing. I think that's the Carmelo Anthony conundrum is what I like to call it, where Carmelo was such a great scorer, but he didn't leverage it well enough of his playmaking, so teams were able to key in on that. And then you got the reverse of the Carmelo Anthony conundrum with the Steve Nash conundrum, where he was such a predominant playmaker that sometimes teams would be like, we know you're looking to pass. How about you show us that you can score? So we aren't going to help off these guys. We want to see you score. And that's the Steve Nash conundrum. That's what I like to call those things. So it works both ways. Overly aggressive playmaking, you need to be able to score to leverage that. Overly aggressive scoring, you need to be able to playmake to leverage that, in my opinion.
All right. Let's keep pushing on the super chats. Yo, once again, if you haven't scanned that QR code, go ahead and smack that QR code right now. Check out some of the new fly merch that we got. Y'all should up your wardrobes a little bit. I think we can help you do that. with the super chat said Max is looking like a really good role.
Which Max? Christie?
Ron, you like that?
Yeah, Ron was
I'm
cooked. I'm assuming it's Max Christie. I'm assuming because we were talking about the Lakers. Max Christie's defense is very good. Now, if he can be a consistent shooter and floor spacer, I think he's going to justify the minutes he's getting. W logo, by the way, W logo.
He basically
But
is what Troy Brown was last year. He could just be a better version of what Troy Brown could have been. You know, being able to shoot the ball a little bit better because he could defend like what Troy Brown did, and he could knock down an open shot. I think he's better in transition than Troy Brown, and if he could consistently knock down more shots, I do think that he could be a better version of what Troy Brown was.
I think he's already better than what Troy Brown was, but I wasn't high on Troy Brown. So,
I wasn't either. I wasn't.
Not even a fan of what he's doing in Minnesota. He's just there for the ride. But should I read some super chats while I'm still here?
Yes, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, let's do that, Mars.
This is for you, Cho. Talk about them Niners.
Yeah, how about that ass whooping yesterday, Big Ox? We was waiting outside for them boys in your building. Mm-hmm. We coming into your building and we was waiting outside for them. What I didn't understand early was how the Philadelphia Eagles look like the 2001 Baltimore Ravens, the 2003 Tampa Bay Buccaneers with that defense. We going 3 and out. Considering who Philly is, Big Ox, they don't get to the quarterback. Not only do they not get to the quarterback, they don't create turnovers. They're one of the worst teams in the league in giving up yards. Meanwhile, 3 and out. I'm like, what's going on? Why can't we score? And they are one of the better teams again. I think they're second in the league against the rush. So I'm like, all right, I understand why we're not running the ball early, trying to throw the ball. Once that got going, because it's actually the opposite. You use the run to set up the pass. We actually use the pass to set up the run. Once the pass got going, because Brock looked really good yesterday, right? Brock looked really good in his short game, in his check down game. He was making really good reads. Whenever he got flushed out of the pocket, he didn't get flustered. With all of that being said, once that got going, that defense, rush defense, got the ball shoved down their throats. Yes, I did say that. Yes, got the ball shoved right down their throat, 100%. McCaffrey just got going, and they couldn't do anything to stop us. Nothing to stop us. So I got a proposal for whatever Philadelphia Eagle fan is in here or watching this right now. I got a proposal for you guys. How about we do this again in a month for all the marbles in the NFC Championship game? Here's the kicker, though. You got to come out to the Bay because we ain't coming back to Philadelphia. We are going to wrap up the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Y'all going to get that 1 seed, Chilton?
Do we have a deal, yes or no? I'm asking right now to all Philly fans, to anybody that's from Philadelphia that's watching this. Do we have a deal? Yes or no?
That's fine.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now.
Mm-hmm. I was worried for y'all, Chilton. I'm not gonna lie. I was worried for y'all going out to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Niners.
Yes, sir.
Patrick Mahomes, the GOAT. Zayd or Zaydi unfazed. Ja will prove to you guys once he's back that he is still a top 10 point guard and he's better than Tyrese Halliburton.
I don't think top 10 is really up for a question.
I think everyone got him top 10. Yeah,
if you don't have that, I'd like to hear you name 10 point guards better than Ja Morant. I'd like to hear that.
No, I know a lot of people would question Halliburton, like Ja over Halliburton. I know that's something that a lot of people question now. Right. And I think it's right to question it. I still got Ja over Halliburton personally, but I know a lot of people will question that. But they're like fringe top 5. I don't think you could argue either one of them below 7. So I think everyone knows Ja Morant top 10.
And I'm also not one of these people, Mars, who like after 1 year you just catapult the guy. I don't do that.
Right,
I can't do that. And that's why I had such a difficult time with the Donovan Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander logic. I mean, don't get me wrong. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the first time he made the All-Pro team. First time Donovan Mitchell made the All-Pro team, and you saw what happened. But I got a problem with guys after 1 year when a guy has a track record of continuously doing something. This dude has 1 year where he does something awesome, and now he catapults another guy. No, I don't do that. No.
Yo, chill. What's Ja Morant's track record?
Oh, let's see. I saw him in the play-in game.
Hooping.
Yeah, I saw him in the play-in game.
No, Chill said do it for a long time. What?
Right.
What has Ja been doing for a long time?
Well, exactly what Maul said. Rocking and playing at a high level. So we got a guy who played in. Don't get me wrong, he got hurt in the playoffs against the Warriors. But if he didn't get hurt in the playoffs against the Warriors, I think that series would have been more competitive. It maybe even go 7. He's one of the more dynamic, one of the better athletes, one of the better distributors in the game, and he's been that.
I asked what his Ja done for a long time.
That's what he hasn't been.
He's been balling, Ron.
Well, he hasn't been in the league a long time. That's the thing.
Neither has Tyrese.
Right. Tyrese hasn't been in the league. However,
look, Ja has two crazy seasons.
Right.
2021, 22,
right.
2022, 23. Right. He averaged 27 and he averaged 26, and he balled out both years. They went to the playoffs. They played fairly well in the playoffs.
Right.
Ja played good in the playoffs.
Right.
Tyrese he's going on to his second season where he is leading the league in assists, which I would say that's phenomenal to do. Only one person leads the league in assists. I know last year James ended up overtaking him, but still averaged 10 plus assists. This year's averaging 10 plus assists.
He got hurt last year, Ron. He didn't have a complete season of dominance last year.
And on top of
that would apply to Ja too.
Right.
Well, with suspensions,
and not only that, Ron, to your point, I mean, they've both been around for a similar amount of time. Ja has been doing it for playing at that level for 2 or 3 years. Tyrese Halliburton just started playing at that level, which is how I don't have Tyrese Halliburton catapulting Ja. Just like I don't have Ja like this over Halliburton. I think that they're right there. I don't have one guy way ahead of the other guy. Absolutely not. And Indiana's defense, I can't believe how bad that defense is. It's incredible how bad it is. I can't believe how bad that defense is. They can't stop nobody, Mars. They scored 144 against Miami. That's what it took to beat them.
Without Tyrese?
144. That's what it took to beat them. They can't stop nobody.
I will say though, I am excited to see Ja come back. So that would I think it's a little too late now, but I'm excited to at this point they might as well just sit Ja down. But I am excited to see him come back and dunk on some people, make some exciting plays.
I did
maybe
say
average
that,
30.
But I did say that Tyrese Halliburton is going to be the best league guard in the game in the next 2 years. Not right now. So in 2 years, that'll be close to 5 years of production that we can have a conversation about, as opposed to a guy just jumping another guy, like the dude just said in the chat about how I'm hyping up Ant. I talk about Ant in the future. I think he's going to be a future MVP. I don't have Ant catapulted over anybody right now. And when I say catapulted, I mean like just like this. I don't have him catapulted over people. I do feel like he's close, if not a little bit over other guys, sure, but I don't have him catapulted over anybody. No, and Ant has built up a track record this far where he's getting better. But in 2 more years, we're talking 3, 4, 5 years of work now that we could go off of, as opposed to a dude just 1 year or 2 years. I ain't doing that. No,
chill. With that being said, though, I mean, I get it that we could project into the future and all of that good stuff,
right?
But we still got to talk about what they're doing right now. And
I got no problem with that. That's why I'm projecting, Ron. For that reason right there. That's why I'm projecting, because of what they're doing right now. If I'm seeing what they're doing right now, I see that in the future, this is going to be even better. So what they're doing right now, coupled in what they're going to be doing in the future, that track record is going to mean something, as opposed to in 1 year, this dude is just this now. No.
Chill. I get what you're saying. I do the same thing too. But even right now, it's not crazy to say that Ant is one of the best guards in the league. It's not crazy to say that Tyrese Halliburton is one of the better league guards in the league. It's not crazy to say that Sengun has jumped a lot of people because of what he's doing right now. These guys are short. Like I don't with the 3 guys I just mentioned, and we can go. It's even more guys. SGA, for instance. Okay, we've seen him average 30 for 1 season, but watching that 1 season lets you know that, hey, SGA is better than this guy. He's better than that guy. He's better than that guy. Hell, SGA is a first team all performer, whether you like it or not. He earned that. And so like you can still project, but also too, it's not, I don't think it's crazy to say that a guy right now has jumped another guy. I don't think it is.
When it's close, I think that you can
go with the track record.
Yeah, when it's close,
I get that.
But to just catapult over another guy in 1 year, you have to do something pretty astronomical, I feel like. And for a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, okay, for him to make first team All NBA, I mean, does that catapult him over Donovan Mitchell, who was second team All NBA, who I thought should have been first team All NBA, had a career year? I don't think that catapults him over him. Even though before last season, who did anybody up here have SGA ahead of Donovan Mitchell? Before last season, that first team All NBA performance. Because I know I didn't.
I didn't see.
I did not.
That type of leap coming from a mile away.
I didn't have them as far apart as people would think.
Right. Now they might not have, now don't get me wrong, Mars. It might not have been like this. It might not have been like this. It might have been a little bit closer, right? It might have been a little bit closer, but to say that, yo, we went from here to here, like, whoa, how did we get there?
Improvement.
With that being said, did anybody have SGA over Donovan Mitchell coming into this year?
I didn't.
I've been pushing the SGA train for a minute now.
And I'm a big time fan.
It's rough. It's rough. I don't know. I got Devin Booker. I know that's what I know.
We could just leave Dev about it, but I'm saying, like, chill. It only took me a year to realize that SGA is better than Donovan. It only took me a year. I mean, to me, SGA does everything better than Donovan, except for shoot. Except when I don't quantify scoring or shooting as scoring. I see just scoring in a bunch, or as one whole thing. If you see what I'm saying, like, just because you shoot the ball better doesn't mean you're a better scorer. SGA gets his mid range,
one-on-one, shooting the long ball. I get that, right?
Mitch gets to the rim too, though, Ron. Mitch gets to the rim.
No, he do what? Come on, you know what Donovan Mitchell do with the rim. But I'm saying though, like, I just think SGA, and he proved this last year. He play makes better. He's a better defender, better rebounder, better. I think he's a better scorer. He gets to his spots better. Like Donovan Mitchell, he's more explosive. He shoots threes better, but I don't. Other than that, I don't think he does anything better than SGA.
I think his pull-up game. I think his pull-up game is definitely better. His stop and pop game, I think it's a little bit better. I think he's better at the rim than SGA. I do. I see what you see in terms of finishing at the rim with SGA, but I value a guy throwing it over the top of another. I value that, man.
You said his pull-up game is better, Showtown. Well, we just got some news that SGA's pull-out game is not that good. Congratulations to the young fella expecting a child next year. Congratulations, young fella.
All right, that's what's up.
Bro, chill out, bro.
That's
why Ox should be the host. That was a fantastic goal.
That pull-out game is kind of wet. So, all right, I can get with that. Absolutely, no doubt, SGA. But yes, Mars, I value guys finishing at the rim over the top of big guys. I value that. I value guys finishing at the rim over the top of guys their size. And like I said, when I think about a guy like Donovan Mitchell, the athlete that he is, the pull-up game he has, being able to pull up at the long ball line and in the clutch. And don't get me wrong, I think that SGA, he's got that slow, methodical game where, he doesn't do a lot in terms of blowing by guys, but he gets by guys. He's got that herky-jerky game. I just feel like with Donovan Mitchell, it's not that it looks better, because I don't just do the eye test.
You can say it looks bad, Sean. No one's gonna get mad at you. You can say
it does look a little bit. It does look better, to be honest with you. But I don't just value what it looks like. I don't. I do not just value what it looks like. So
crazy thing is, those two got like the.
To really quickly, Mark. To really quickly, Ron. Devin. So just so you know, you want me to say it? Fine. I hate the Oklahoma City Thunder. Fine. I hate you guys. There you go. You want me to say I hate the Oklahoma City Thunder? I hate the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't like nothing about you guys. Even though I had them in the playoffs this year, and I spoke very highly of them. But for you, sir, I hate the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't want nothing good to happen for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Courtesy of you. There you go, bro.
Damn, Devin, you really forced his hand.
There you go, bro. You want me to say
wasn't
it?
planning on doing that, but
even though I don't really feel like that, but fine. Okay, there you go.
Hey, but the crazy thing about SGA and Donovan Mitchell, like comparing them and all of that, they really have two completely opposite games. It's like fire and ice, and it's dope to actually compare their games because it's really a contrast between both of them, and it's kind of like this preference type of thing. Like, do you want an explosive guy that can really fill it up, or do you want a guy that's a little more smooth, methodical, and gets to his spots? Yo, focus, Mars. Focus, Ox. See, chill.
Donovan's not here. I have to catch it.
Okay.
Donovan's not here.
Hey, Ron. Usually I don't trip on stuff like that, but that was kind of like.
I'm with you, Ron. I'm still with you.
All right,
Ron.
thank you.
Keep
All
going.
right.
My bad, y'all. My bad. Maturity. I'm sorry.
Speaking of filling things up, we have 10 surprises of the season so far that we have to fill up and let the people know. So I'm gonna start with you, Chill, and I want to go around the room and I want to ask everybody, what are the biggest surprises for you so far this season? It's a lot.
Well, I'll start with the first surprise. I'm surprised I actually let Damo talk me into the Detroit Pistons and how garbage they are, and him telling me how good they were going to be when you got a team that lost 16 straight games. I dig Jalen Duren. I think he's the future of that organization. The fact that Monty Williams didn't even talk with Jaden Ivey and just took him out of the lineup, didn't even talk to him about it, has no idea what they were doing. He has no idea what they were doing, yanking him in and out of the lineup. I'm surprised that I fell for that, and I'd like to think that I'm a little bit smarter than that, and I'm not. I'm surprised that LeBron James is as good as he is. I'm super surprised that he is as good as he is still at this age. I did not think that he would still be this good at this juncture at 38 years old. I'm really surprised at what he's doing, 100%. And the other surprise that I have is the Orlando Magic. I did not think that they would be this good. I did not think that Orlando Magic would be this good. I didn't think that they would be this good defensively more than anything. I thought that they would be a good team. I thought that they would be right around the play-in tournament. I did not think that they would be that good. And I'm surprised at them. Those three things, as of right now, are the biggest surprises for me.
Okay.
All right, Ox, talk to me. What you got?
First surprise is that the Duke Blue Devils ladies basketball is not ranked. That's my first surprise.
They got a good team. They got a damn good team.
How are they not ranked? Their first loss came in overtime against number 3 ranked Stanford. They played a great game yesterday against South Carolina, I must add, and they lost to Davidson. But other than that, they've been running through, and they had a great season last year. Rank those young ladies. They are playing their asses off, and they are a very good team. Y'all need to watch out for them come March. They can make a run. That's my first surprise of the year, is that the Lady Blue Devils are not ranked. That's crazy. Other than that, I'm surprised, and it's not just because of this game against Denver. It's been happening all season. I'm surprised by De'Aaron Fox stepping up to be a facilitator and getting his teammates involved and being a killer from the beginning and not waiting until the fourth quarter. It's a happy surprise, but I wasn't expecting it like this. I wasn't expecting it. Other surprise, man. There's a bunch. Okay, I'm gonna go with Detroit too. I gotta say, I am shocked. I thought Detroit was gonna win 38, 39. I think I said something around there. I thought Detroit was going to be better. I did not expect Detroit to have 20 losses. I don't know if they're at 20 yet, but they're close enough. You
can't go a month without winning a game. That can't happen.
That's beyond despicable. That's beyond despicable. I'm shocked by Detroit. I thought Detroit would be closer to 500. They're 2-18, James B. That's despicable.
They'll do a little better. They got their vet back.
Free Bojan.
Mars, you up here, you scrunching up your face for y'all going 0-8 on the road. Not 0-8 on the season, 0-8 on the road. Like not winning a game in a month. Everybody should be tired. What are we doing? What's happening right now? We can't win one game.
Sick,
we are pros. In the last 3 years, we've had top 5 picks: Cade Cunningham, Ivy, and this kid Thompson, who Mars, and I've been paying more attention to him, thinks that he's one of the best perimeter, not one of the best defenders in the game, not rookies in the game. You got 3 of these guys. How can we not win a game in a month? That is unacceptable, Ops. Keep going.
Yeah. So free Bojan, Darren keep passing, and get those Lady Blue Devils ranked. They need to be in that top 25. That's my 3.
Mars.
It's funny. The last game, the Spurs one, was that game where KD got fouled at the end. That was the first game of November. They haven't won since.
Garbage.
I told y'all the Spurs suck. I told y'all
that. Detroit losing 16 straight has made people forget that the Spurs have lost 14 straight.
Actually, nobody's forgetting, Mars. No, because we had this conversation. Mars, where did you have the Spurs before the season started?
Bottom of the West.
I had them at the bottom of the West. There's no I think Ticket was the only one who had them in the play-in tournament. I think Ticket was the one who said that, they're a play-in team. I'm like, Ticket, that team is going to be at the bottom of the Western Conference. They are garbage.
They've lost 14. They've lost 14 straight. They won 1 game in November. It was the first game of November. Haven't won since.
But Mars, before you move on, Mars, my bad. I'm not trying to cut you off. I just want to make sure that you pinpoint the fact that they weren't even supposed to win that game. That was a robbery.
Yes.
That was a robbery.
They really should be another team that went a whole month without winning. But hey, they won 1 game in the month. The first game of the month, haven't won since. Nice. So they've gone a month of days, they've gone over 30 days without winning, but they won a game in November. So credit to them. But biggest surprise is Draymond Green making 3s this season. He's at 47% for the year, but that might be boosted a little bit by the last game he just had. But even before that, he was at 42%, and he's in the corner more. So maybe that's a reason why it's gone up. So we'll see if that's sustainable. That's a surprise. Jokic getting better again. That's a surprise. I guess.
Just when we thought we had seen it all, we actually seeing more.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic getting better again is.
Hey, believe it or not,
okay.
Jokic is 27 right now.
28, I think.
28.
I think so.
Even then, Jokic might have another level that he might look. Jokic might have
no way,
bro. He's only 28. You got to understand, and this is the same thing that Chill was just talking about. Projecting when he's 32 in 4 years from now.
What else can he do? Can he lose 50 pounds and be a better defender or something?
It's just he's just gonna make better plays.
He's gonna lose 25 more.
He's just gonna make better plays, become more efficient, score easier. The game is gonna slow down for him even more. It's you can't tell me that he.
Okay, we'll say right now, Ron, he's the GOAT. Go ahead, he's the GOAT. If his defense goes up maybe a notch and a half, 2 notches. His defense goes up 2 notches. He becomes an even better playmaker. Loses maybe what you say, Chilltown, 20 more pounds and gets a little faster. He's the best. He's the best to ever walk.
I didn't say all that. I mean, the defense hasn't been moving me to start the season, but offensively, he's gotten better. So I didn't know there was more room to grow, but I guess there was. So that's a surprise to me. And another surprise, Trae Young not being the worst defender in the league. Didn't expect that. I think Trae Young, legitimate neutral on defense. I don't think he's hurting the Atlanta Hawks on defense anymore. So I gotta give him credit where credit's due. That's something I didn't foresee in his future. And I think if Trae Young can do it, there's no excuse for some of these other guards to not be able to do it. Because we're talking about Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, those type of people. So
Ron, your man on defense is garbage. He is, Ron. He is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So yeah, so if Trae Young can do it, the most physically inferior NBA player, arguably, can become neutral on defense with that offensive burden he has. I know we hear that a lot. With that offensive burden, hey, I mean, everyone can do it at that point. I think that's 3, but Indiana's offense, with and without Tyrese Halliburton, seems to be able to score on anyone. So credit to Rick Carlisle. And
They don't run a lot of sets, Mars. If you
It's a lot of run.
Yes.
And if there's nothing there, we'll set a high pick and roll. And maybe if you're lucky, there'll be a tiny bit of motion. But not really. It's really just spread pick and roll. We're gonna get a shooter, or we're gonna get someone at the rim. And it works. And TJ McConnell cooked the Miami Heat doing that. So
shout out TJ McConnell.
He did the same thing when he was in. He did the same thing when he was in Dallas. He did the exact same when he had Jason Kidd and Dirk Nowitzki and Sean Marion when they won the NBA championship. They did the same thing.
Rick
Not a lot of
action. Talking about TJ McConnell.
No, not a lot of action. He did the same thing, and it worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah, so those are probably my biggest surprises, other than Nick Nurse also being the savior of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Is Jamal Mosley the coach of the year?
Nah, he didn't play Jonathan Isaac enough. He didn't play Jonathan Isaac enough. Our coach. Nah.
Yeah, as of right now, if the season was, if the award was to get passed out right now, he's 100% claiming that.
I'm just because to be honest with you, Mark, I thought that Isaac was hurt again. I'm like, why isn't he in the lineup? What's going on? But then he'll play for 5 or 10 minutes, and then he'll have him off the floor again. Is he preserving him? Because I know that he has to.
That's the only explanation I have.
He has to be preserving him because
I know he's not great on offense, but there's no way you think he's that bad on offense that you aren't trying to get him on the floor more with how good he is on defense. Like, there's just no way. I'm sorry. And if you do think that, you ain't the coach of the year. L coach.
I mean, that's what I would be doing. I would be trying to conserve him. Wait to the end of the season stretch, playoffs. If we, if we get there, there's no reason to me to be playing Jonathan Isaac any unnecessary minutes. He's got to be the most fragile player in the NBA.
I'm there once or twice.
Yeah, he missed 2 full seasons with ACLs, I think. So
yeah,
I guess, but for me, I want to see more than 13 minutes a game just for my entertainment. But I get it, preserve his body. I mean, I want him to not be able to walk when he's older just because I wanted to watch him play 22 minutes instead of 13. So I get it. But I think the NBA would be better if we saw Jonathan Isaac for 20 to 25 minutes a game.
If anything, Morris, you need to go down to 10 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? For right now. Go down to 10 minutes a game until the end of February, end of January. You know what I'm saying? Then start going up a little bit. He need to be in the pool. He need to be doing pool workouts, Pilates, yoga, and ice baths. You know what I'm saying? That's what he need to be doing, taking care of that body.
Speaking of pool,
so we have to
let me get into my surprises. Let me get into mine. Obviously, it's looking bad for both parties right now. I don't know if they should have just worked it out and got through their differences. Hey, how Shaq just came in and sat down Damo and asked some critical questions. Maybe they should have just did that with Draymond and Jordan Poole, because Jordan Poole looks terrible without them. And I'm not saying the Warriors look bad without Jordan Poole, but I don't know what's going on over there. It's not.
You know what's going on. There's a certain number 11 who's washed. You know what's going on. Let's be honest. You know.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, Klay Thompson crying in interviews, being defensive, and things just aren't really going his way. Yeah, I don't know. The Warriors look cooked right now, and Jordan Poole.
They don't make the playoffs. The season ended today. They're out. They're out.
They just blew a 24-point lead to the Clippers. I think it was something crazy. It was some high lead that they blew to the Clippers.
Ox, what bet you got? Yeah. What is that?
Lakers.
Uh-oh.
Chilltown.
My boy got receipts. Hold on.
Yo, where Pirate at?
Bring back Pirate.
Don't make the playoffs.
Okay. That's why Pirate hasn't been on the show.
I'm gonna let my man Lionel Richie hold on to that for me.
The second best Lionel in human history. W.
What's the first?
Messi.
All right, so but yeah, so you got the Warriors and you got Jordan Poole. Next, I'm actually gonna go to a team that's doing the opposite. And I can't believe after their performance last year, how it looks like a completely different experiment. It's a 180. What they're doing in Minnesota right now is nothing short of phenomenal. And I got to start with the Twin Towers experiment that everybody shitted on last year, and we thought it was terrible.
Not everybody.
Ox, hey, you 2 for 2 right now. Well, the last 2 shots you made with the Warriors and Timberwolves, but last game, no Ant, which Ant is playing. Ant needs to be in the MVP conversation right now for sure, and he needs to be high on the list. But no Ant. They go and take care of business against it's the Hornets, but still nonetheless, for Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert to have the type of games that they both had, Rudy Gobert goes 10 for 12, has 12 rebounds, 26 points, 3 blocks.
Go ahead, Rudy.
Karl-Anthony Towns turns around and has 28 points and was balling. It's like they figured it out.
This is what I envisioned last year, but I did not know that Karl-Anthony Towns was going to miss 54 games. I did not know that. No, I didn't know that.
So you think this would have happened last year
I think that we would have seen something a lot different than what we saw, because once Karl-Anthony Towns got back in the lineup, they started figuring it out, but it was getting late. So because it got as late as it did, they couldn't really put it together. Now they had a training camp together, and the offense, the way it's constructed. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of big men that play outside in, but I like this dynamic between Cat and Rudy. Him throwing lobs to Rudy at the rim, him dropping the ball off to Rudy. And Rudy's always, like you just mentioned, Ron, he was 10 for 12 for 26. Rudy's always been efficient around the rim. Always been efficient around the rim. I think he's got 3 seasons where he's been the most efficient in NBA history, where he shot something crazy like 65%, 68%, 70%. So he's always been efficient around the rim. And when you got a guy like Cat who draws that much attention on the perimeter from 15 feet or in the mid post, and he can pass to a big guy who catches lobs like what Rudy does, add that to them defensively. Mars and I already had this conversation. Last year, Cat just looked lost defensively. He had no idea what he was doing. But this year, he looks like he's a little more acclimated to what's going on between him and Rudy. So this is what I envisioned last season, but I mean, it's actually, I had them at the top 5 seed last year, and I'm still not off that. I'm still on it.
Yeah, someone in the chat also said Nas Reed, Ron, and he needs his credit and his flowers too for what he's doing off that bench for them right now. Yeah. Do they have the best front court in the league right now?
Yeah. Yes, they do. I don't got to think too hard about
it. Depends how you feel about Giannis, Brooke, and Bobby Portis.
Or
I got Minnesota.
Or Cleveland. Well, here's the thing. That's what I'm thinking, Miles. What Cleveland, what Minnesota and Cat and Rudy are doing is what both Jared Allen and Evan Mobley can do, potentially. I feel like Jared Allen can be that Rudy Gobert kind of guy around the rim, catching lobs. I feel like Evan Mobley can get better in the perimeter, in the mid post as a passer, because I see him throwing lobs to Jared Allen. So I feel like what Minnesota is doing with Cat and Jared Allen, and I'm sorry, with Cat and Rudy Gobert, I feel like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley could potentially do that.
Don't forget Jaden McDaniels. Don't he run the small forward?
Yeah, and that's what I was actually about to get to. They're doing this without Jaden. Like they're legit best perimeter defender, and I would probably say on any given night, third best player on offense. He's not playing. He's literally not playing. And Jaden McDaniels is a positive all around the floor. He's not playing, and they're playing this well. They got the best record in the league.
Well, we can cut it. We can cut the stuff. I don't think it's even a
here we go.
Discussion. I don't think it's a conversation. This is the best front court in the NBA, hands down. And that's even when Cat playing, but he's still marshmallow soup. But he's, you know what I'm saying? He's getting to it though. He's getting to it. And that was the thing about Cal. Always just didn't understand. Like, you're just too good to play like that. And so, you know, I think he picked up on the defensive scheme, picked up on the defensive rotations, you know what I'm saying, learning how to play defense a little better. And I think that's all they needed to do was just get some more time together. I think they are the best front court in the NBA. Nobody wants to play the Timberwolves.
Are we pulling a contender card with them?
I think
Are we
I
ready?
don't
Are we
think,
ready to play?
I don't think they're gonna win.
no.
So.
Right. I don't think they're gonna win, but
I don't think.
But I think they're a tough out for whoever does beat them in the playoffs. I don't think anyone's gonna have an easy time with them, but I don't think they're gonna win.
Here's
already
why
heard
they're
it.
starting to sway me a little bit, though, is because they're not winning off flash and flare and like they're not winning off of that. They're winning off of legit defense. And
So,
so,
the flash part is they doing that too. So like when Jaden McDaniels was healthy, when Ant was healthy, and with Cat, they get up and down the floor. Mike Conley looking for these guys in transition, catching lobs and things like that. They were doing that too. Oh, 100%. They were absolutely doing that. But then, and that's what makes them so much better, Ron, because we could play how you want to play fast, play fast. But if you want to slow it down and you want to get it out the mud and you want to get grimy, you can play like that too.
Mm-hmm. You know what though? Because first, when somebody said in the chat talking about Ant's maturity, I think that's a big deal too. Because I didn't like that yet. I didn't like what happened last year when Cat said something. I think it was a press conference and said something, kind of called Ant out, and I didn't like the way people reacted to that. Like, oh, who does Cat think he is? This is Ant's team. I just did not like the response to Cat calling him out. But I want to ask y'all this, because this is a forgotten. If you ask me, he's a forgotten soldier in the league. He was once the highest paid player in the NBA.
Mike Conley, here we go. Okay.
This is I want to ask y'all. I just want to ask y'all, what is going to happen for Mike Conley if they do get this ring? Now, I know
Mike Conley legacy talks.
Look, I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it. I wrote Mike Conley off. I think it's last year in Memphis. I've been kind of off Mike Conley. He was always kind of boring to me, but we cannot deny his impact on the game. Now, I want to know, if they win a ring, what does this do for Mike Conley?
Hey, and before we get into this tool, respect Mike Conley. We give Chris Paul his flowers for playing at his age. We give Bron, we give KD. Mike Conley's 36, and I don't necessarily say he's playing at an elite level, but he's a starting point guard on the best team in the West so far.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody in the world? I'm not necessarily saying y'all three. I'm pretty sure none of y'all will. But if Mike Conley gets this ring, does his legacy supersede that of guys like Chris Paul?
No.
Oh my God.
Because I know where you're going with it, Ox. If you remember, he played in a point guard era. He played in a really tough point guard era. And because he played in a tough point guard era, he got overlooked. But he didn't get overlooked because he wasn't good. He got overlooked because other guys were better. So he played in an era with Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, John Wall,
Rajon Rondo,
and Russell Westbrook, and a bunch of these guys. That doesn't mean Mike Conley wasn't awesome.
Did you say Russell Westbrook?
Yes, I did say Russell Westbrook.
If he gets a ring, Russ don't got no ring. No, what are we talking about here?
You're not doing that. I was an advocate. I was an advocate for Boston when they were talking about, moving off of Marcus Smart. I was like, pick up the telephone, call up the Minnesota Timberwolves and ask for Mike Conley, because I think he's perfect for what you guys are doing. But instead they get Drew Holiday, which is absolutely great. But when you got a solid point guard like Mike Conley, and remember, Ron, he came in with KD in 2007. That's how long he's been around. Came in with KD. And he's been around he was a lottery pick, been around for a long time and been playing at a high level. It's just that the guys that was around during his time, they was just better. That doesn't mean that he wasn't awesome, because he was.
So would you rather have a B minus, solid B for 15 years, or an A minus for 9 or 8? I'm personally.
Would you rather have Mike Conley or John Wall?
That's exactly what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Would I rather?
Let's keep John Wall out of this. So let's keep John Wall out of this.
I was gonna say Kemba Walker, but I know how you feel about Kemba Walker. So I went with John Wall.
Yeah, let's bring John Wall right back into it.
Yeah, Mike Conley or John Wall?
John Wall.
There we go.
For whole careers, I gotta go with Mike Conley. I love John Wall.
Longevity matters.
I love John
matters.
Wall, but I gotta go.
100%.
I gotta go with Mike Conley.
100%. And when you're playing that long and you're playing at a high level, I mean that matters. But
and don't forget Chilltown. Don't forget what Mike Conley was doing at Ohio. Don't forget.
He went through with Greg Oden, right?
Yeah, Mike Conley is a legend. Where he from? Indiana, right? Mike Conley is a legend in the Midwest.
I think Ohio.
First of all, let's not talk about Mike.
Is he
Conley,
from Ohio or Indiana? He went to Ohio, but I think he's from Indiana.
Mike Conley
might be.
I don't know if you know this, Big Ox, but that junior is a reason. Like he's got elite genes. His father's an Olympic athlete. Right. His father's an Olympic athlete. So I know who Mike Conley Jr. is. I'm not going to fight that part. But again, when you're talking about during that era of point guard, the reason why Mike Conley wasn't making the All-Star team, the reason why he wasn't making the All-NBA team, not because he wasn't solid, because he was like a 15-7 guy, 14-8 guy. He was doing all of that. It's just that the other guys, Damian Lillard, John Wall, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry. I mean, I could go on and on. These guys were just awesome. And that doesn't negate how good Mike Conley was because he was an all-league defender. And as an all-league defender, that matters as a solid point guard playing on the offensive side of the ball, right? Mm-hmm. But with that being said, you could be awesome but not be better than your contemporaries. And unfortunately, he wasn't. And I don't think a championship ring is going to do that because we still got to go off your resume, Big Ox. If you end up with a championship, okay, that's great. As the starting point guard in year 17, okay, great. However, your contemporaries, you put your resume up against them, and during your time, when you were hot and they were hot, they were better.
Yeah, so this is my thing, Chilltown, and I'm not going to hold us up with this too long. But Mike Conley has some good runs. The Grizzly teams, he had some good runs. When he got to Utah, he had some good runs. So, no, he never got no ring. And I'm going to just go out here and just say it on the limb. If Mike Conley gets a ring this year as a starting point guard of the Minnesota Timberwolves on my list of best point guards, you can put him ahead of Chris Paul.
Troll alert!
No troll whatsoever. Mike Conley is a legend from high school, college, NBA. Go ahead.
They lost in the national championship in 07, by the way. Right. Yeah, they had a damn good team.
He's a legend.
Yeah, they lost in the national championship.
All right. All right, fellas. I got one more team that I want to. Well, really two. Mars alluded to one of them. The Philadelphia 76ers. I didn't expect this. A lot has to do with Nick Nurse. Some has to do with Joel Embiid. The rest has to do with Tyrese Maxey for me. I'm liking what I'm seeing from all three of them. But Mars was right. It more than likely starts with the head of the snake. So we'll go with Nick Nurse and what he has brought to the unit. They seem a little more cohesive. They seem a little more hard-nosed. And right now, they're just balling right now. So I'm excited what I'm seeing with the Philadelphia 76ers. But another team that I do have to acknowledge is the LA Clippers. I did not see this.
Ron, what did you not, man?
Kawhi and Paul George playing every game. That's what he's talking about.
But first off, we didn't know James was going there. I mean, like we had a slight indication that maybe James Harden was going to the Clippers, but you chose the Clippers coming out the West, right?
No, I chose the Suns.
Oh no, it was who chose? Was it Ticket?
It was Ticket.
It was Ticket. So Ticket chose the Clippers. I chose the Suns. Yeah,
before the Harden trade.
This is before the season. Yeah. I chose the Suns, but the Clippers were my dark horse in the West. Even with James going over there, I didn't expect them to be this bad. The Clippers are bad.
They're gonna be all right though.
They're the Clippers. I don't understand why this is a conversation. But number one, they are the Clippers, and we know who the Clippers are, and the Clippers are gonna clip. Period. We know who the Clippers are. So sending Russ to the bench, getting James Harden on the floor, which Ox said was a great idea, has turned out to not be a great idea. No, it hasn't been. No, we were just fine before James Harden showed up.
Y'all beat
Just
that.
fine
I mean,
before
the
James Harden
Clippers
showed
beat the Rockets and the Spurs.
So,
They weren't
hey.
fine. They beat up on a couple of weak ass teams. No disrespect, Morris. No disrespect. I ain't mean it like that, Morris. I was more so talking about the Spurs being the weak ass team and y'all being mid. They beat, you know what I'm saying? They beat up on some weak ass teams. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
disrespectful.
They weren't gonna do nothing before this. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done anything after. But I'm trying to tell y'all, wait till February. Y'all gonna see. By the beginning of March, the Clippers are going to be a top 17. Come playoffs, they'll get into the playoffs around the 5 seed.
So they're top 5 seed at the end of the year.
Oh, 100%. As long, and I hate to say this, but as long as PG and Kawhi are healthy, I got to, But if those guys can play if those guys can play 75% of the season, the Clippers will be a 5 seed.
Fact.
Okay. I wonder what miraculous trade they're gonna make.
I don't think they need to make no trades.
All right. Man, all right. Hey, we'll have to see. But we got you on record saying that. So come February, we'll be revisiting these talks.
Also, let's make sure we revisit that if the Timberwolves win, Mike Conley will be ahead of Chris Paul all time.
I shall not partake in that conversation.
Hey, call me, pass me the ball.
Hey,
once that happens, pass me the rock. Once that happens. But any more surprises that any of you guys have up your sleeves? That anything that shocked you?
I thought Cleveland would be better, Ron. I did. I thought I had Cleveland as a top 3 seed, and as of right now, I mean, they tied for 7th in the West. I mean, in the East, I'm sorry. They're tied for 7th in the East, and they haven't been good defensively. Evan Mobley hasn't progressed like I thought he would as a scorer. Yeah, they've had some injuries and had guys in and out the lineup. I can dig that. But I thought they would be better, so I'm surprised. I'm surprised / disappointed in that. Toronto was actually better than what I thought they were going to be. I thought that Toronto was going to be San Antonio. I did. I thought that they were going to be at the bottom of the East. I did not think that they would be very, very good. I thought they were going to be a dumpster fire. And they actually, I think that they were going to be way worse than that, and they're not. They actually are really competitive. So,
I would like to bring up another surprise. I'm mid surprised about, but the UConn Lady Huskies. The UConn Lady Huskies going 4-4, being the 17 ranked team, getting they didn't get pummeled, but they got beat decently yesterday by Texas.
Texas served them. Yes, they did.
My thing is Paige. I was always, Ron, you remember when she came out of high school, I was already kind of like, Paige is a little hype. But I do think Paige is going to be, she'll be okay. But what's her name? Aaliyah Edwards. She can't carry the squad by herself, Paige. You got to step it up a little bit. If it wasn't for Gino Auriemma being the coach of that team, they would be unranked. They're a 4-14. They would be unranked if it wasn't for the legacy of that great, remarkable legacy of the UConn Huskies. But they're 4-4, 17 ranked team. Got pummeled by Texas yesterday. Get the Huskies out of here. Get them out of here.
With that being said, it's another Huskies that you guys should focus on. If you watch college football, they got the
oh my God, Ron.
Stuff.
That's the one right there. That's what this whole show should have been about. That the disrespect that they just showed the ACC and the Florida State Seminoles. What the hell is that?
I'm not mad at that. I'm really not.
How are you not mad at that, Ron?
I get that.
Power 5 conference.
Because Alabama would mop them boys.
It don't matter.
No, they wouldn't.
Alabama would, and you go see. They about to play Georgia. Y'all about to see.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, Ron. Even if they would mop them, we need to see it though. They went undefeated in a Power 5 conference. Like you got every kid on that roster, every parent of every kid on that roster, every student from FSU, every team in the ACC, every athletic director in the ACC need to be shutting this down right now. The disrespect is crazy. They're a Power 5 conference, Ron. They went undefeated. There's nothing else they could have done.
I get it. It was a tough situation, and this is why I'm tight about that. It's only 4 teams. It should be, it should have been 8, 12, whatever you want to make it.
Yeah.
But which we'll see soon. But this was the year to definitely do it. But with that being said, like once again, and they said it. They blatantly said it. Yo, you lose your best player, your team gets worse.
They lost and they still beat. They lost him and they still beat Louisville.
They were struggling
in the ACC championship game. By the way,
they were struggling that game too.
Struggling.
They beat them by.
They beat
them
Look,
by
Ron, how many games have y'all struggled to win this year? Y'all won them. But let's not act like UW hasn't been having close games all season.
No, they for sure have. And with that being said, the Pac-12 is the best conference in the nation this year. UW has played the most. I think they've beaten the most ranked teams in the nation. And if it's not UW, it's Alabama that's next. And then on top of that, Alabama just toppled. Chill, I know you don't like it, but Alabama just toppled Georgia, the best team in the nation. Georgia was on the longest winning streak in the nation. I think in their last 46 games, they won 45. It might be 36.
They lost
one of those two. Georgia was undisputed the best team in the nation, and Alabama took them down. And I'll give you another thing. Alabama only lost 1 game this year, and it's to the number 3 team in the nation who's also in the college football playoffs. So, like, and they should have won that game too. But I'm just saying, like, Alabama has the resume. Their resume is better than FSU's.
Like
and their team is better than FSU.
They're undefeated, Ron.
That's the. I don't like to oversimplify things, Big Ox, but this is really that simple. It really is. We play in a Power 5 conference. We whooped everybody in front of us. You didn't. Period. Why are you going and we not?
Because my thing is this, Chilltown. The reason why I'm so upset about it is because there was absolutely nothing else FSU could have done. They beat everybody. They couldn't have done any better than beat everybody that they put in front of them. In a Power 5 conference, this is complete disrespect to the ACC. Whoever the commissioners of the ACC, they need to be up in arms. They should be shutting this down. They should be at the whatever office. I don't know where the office is located. It's probably located in Alabama. They need to go to that office and shut this down. This is crazy.
And
it's
crazy, Ox, how the system is when we having a conversation about, well, Florida State's quarterback got hurt. Can you imagine sitting here going, yo, if the playoffs started today and the Denver Nuggets are in the number 3 seed, well, Denver, you can't have the number 3 seed because Jamal Murray hurt. You got to drop down to the number 5 seed. Can you imagine us doing something like that?
They put stuff like that in their Chilltown just so they can get away with stuff like this because it's all about the money. It's all about the money. The Alabama Michigan matchup.
Say that, Big Ox.
Exactly.
Say that Alabama is a bigger draw than Florida State. We'll make more money off them than we would. We'll make more money off them than we would Florida State and Alabama. Well, that's what say that. Then. They
want the Alabama Michigan game to make more money. It's gonna make more money than Florida State.
Don't tell me it's a resume because my resume. Once again, we played 13 teams. How many of those teams beat us? None of them. And we play in a Power 5 conference. And we actually won the championship without our starting quarterback. We won it. There's no reason why we shouldn't be competing for the national championship.
Now, if they would have lost to Louisville, okay,
we can have a different conversation. But they did not.
And even if they lost to Louisville, then where Oregon at? But I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna back out. I'm out of this.
I'm just gonna say this: Bama deserves to be in the college football playoffs amongst some other teams because I think Georgia actually got snubbed as well. But with that being said, I think it's a good chance, a very good chance that Alabama wins the national title. Then it's kind of like
they're not beating Michigan.
You don't think they beat Michigan?
They're not beating Michigan. I don't think they beat Michigan.
Hey, I'll text y'all in the group chat because I got money on Bama.
Hey, this the thing. This the thing though, Ron. It could be very well. They can beat Michigan. They can win the national championship. To me, it doesn't matter. They shouldn't even have been there. It's nobody's fault that they lost to Texas, but their own. You know what I'm saying? So in college football, y'all know how it goes in college football. You lose 1 game, 2 games, that can get you out of there. But losing 0 games in a power conference, in a Power 5 conference, Alabama shouldn't even be here. Now, if they win the national championship, everybody's gonna be like, well, see, that shows right there. It doesn't show anything. All it shows is how corrupt college football is.
Bama's schedule was crazy. And then they put the cherry on top and beat Georgia.
It's right here, Big Ox. This right here. So, because essentially what Ron's telling us is Alabama is from a tougher league. They're in a tougher neighborhood. So if Ole Miss would have been undefeated in the SEC and won the SEC championship, Ole Miss should have an opportunity, even though Ole Miss fit the schedule.
Ole Miss is 100% going in over FSU if they go undefeated. 100%.
Simply off the strength that they play in the SEC, even though the ACC had a winning record against the SEC this year. Even though that went on, by the way, Big Ox. That went on, by the way. The ACC had a winning record against the SEC. That's number one. Number two, if you already had this dynamic that the SEC is tougher and it's better, that means that's already a disadvantage for me. That means that no matter what I do, you're going to put somebody in the SEC ahead of me. That's a bias.
Money talks.
Look, I'm a Pac-12 guy, and personally, I don't like the SEC. I do not like the SEC. I don't even like me standing up for them right now. But I'm giving how I personally feel about the situation, putting all bias aside. But we all know how this goes. Like college football goes to the SEC no matter what. So and I'm even as far as saying this: if Bama didn't make it, they were going to put Georgia ahead of FSU. I don't think FSU stood a chance. But also, Tulo, with the quarterback going down, I think that really did play a large part in it. I think that gave the voters an excuse to be like, well, this isn't really the same team. They lost their best player, and we would rather put a team that's at full strength in there. I think it gave them that's
so wrong to the other kids on that team, though. Like they worked hard all season, went undefeated. The backup quarterback, third string quarterback came in there. They got it done against Louisville. That's all I'm saying. I'm not thinking about the money that obviously this, because college football is the most corrupt association in the land. I don't care about the money that they lost or whatever, the money that they aim to gain with this. I'm thinking about those kids and how hard they worked all season. Imagine being in a Power 5 conference playing football. And we know how physical and how hard football is. You know what I'm saying? Those kids went through hell to get a chance to win a national championship. And because Nick Saban is the godfather of football, now they can't go to the national championship, bro. That's just disrespectful, bro. And my man in the chat said this in Dallas. They need to touch down at DFW on Love Field Airport today. Get to that headquarters and shut that ish down. Because
they need to be worried about other things. Okay. They got that Orange Bowl. We gonna see that.
We did what you told us to do, Ron. We looked at this is what you told us to do. You told us that this is your schedule, and you told us to beat everybody on the schedule. We did it.
We did it.
We did that. Why are we having this conversation? It's like Ron, I'm telling you this week, this is what you have to do. And if you do this, you're gonna get paid. You did that, but I'm fronting on the money.
Mm-hmm. This the Alabama media cartel. Can't get with it.
I know one thing. If they beat Georgia, we're going to have some discussions. We are absolutely going to have some discussions. Right now, I think they made the decision that they were supposed to make. I think Bama needed to get in. But if FSU beats Georgia, NCAA going to be up against it.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know if they're gonna win that game, but I don't think that should hold any weight into the decision that was made today. I don't think we should make decisions today based on. I mean, in sports now, in real life, you make decisions today based on tomorrow, 100%. But in sports and ranking and stuff, I don't think it's right to be able to do that.
Hey, Kevin just made a good point. Actually, we're letting the SEC put the cloak over our eyes. It's not Georgia, Alabama that we should be focused on, or FSU. It's the fact that Texas got in, and we haven't said a peep about Texas.
I said that.
Texas lost the game too.
Yeah, they did.
If anything,
Alabama,
they should be on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which Texas do got a good team though. I like Texas, but
so what? And you know who else got a good team, Ron? Florida State.
Well, facts. Well, Texas. If anything, then Texas beat Alabama, though. You know what I'm saying? So
we shouldn't even be having this conversation, big guy. Here you have it right there. Y'all shouldn't even. What y'all doing here? We beat y'all. No way, y'all.
How the hell did y'all get here?
Yeah, how y'all get in here? We already served y'all. We shouldn't have to see y'all again.
All I gotta say is, Bama, we'll see y'all in the Natty. Texas, it was nice knowing you. All right, but we got some super chats. Let's go ahead and run these down. I guess you guys liked our college football segment. Mars, did you enjoy that? Got a few super chats that pertain into that, but let's go ahead and run these down before we get up out of here. Tony Gradsky with the super chat said Donovan Mitchell got outplayed by Brunson back-to-back postseasons. By the way,
I don't know if he got outplayed in Utah.
That's right, because they did see each other. Utah versus Dallas.
I don't know if he got outplayed. No, he did. He did not get outplayed. He had that one bad game, but I don't think he got outplayed in that whole series. No. Last year, I'll give you that. Last year, I'll definitely give you that.
Is Jalen Brunson a better postseason player than Donovan Mitchell?
No.
Is that even crossing anybody's mind? All right. That's that. Drink More Water said, will the off rating record be broken every year?
Offensive
rating record.
Yes. Which is why I use relative offensive rating. Because every year the number one offense is going to break the record for the best offense of all time. Because the offensive ratings are going up every year. I remember in 2020, they made such a big deal about the Dallas Mavericks being the best offense of all time. And it's been, I think now that team would be like 9th this year. So, yeah. Doesn't really mean that much.
The 2016 Warriors, the best offense in NBA history, they're at the bottom of the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
literally at the bottom of the league, not in the top 5 or no, they're at the bottom of the league this year.
I meant to say that earlier, Chotan, when you asked about the coach of the year. I meant to run that back and let y'all know Mike Brown's going to repeat.
So coach, we're going to win it in back-to-back years.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how many games did the year miss? 5.
That guy in Orlando, damn good job,
5.
man.
Yeah, man, y'all probably 14-3 right now. Y'all might have the best record in the NBA if the year doesn't get hurt.
A guy in Orlando, Coach Mike Dagnall in Oklahoma City, he's doing a great job. I don't know, Ox, you man have a tough time.
All right, y'all, keeping it lit. Drink More Water again said it's really 2 Big Ten teams versus 2 SEC teams.
That's crazy.
Oh, Texas is going to the SEC, huh?
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe they're doing this to the Pac. It's crazy.
It's about to get gutted next year. I forgot Texas going to the SEC. Yeah, it's gonna be the Big Ten versus the SEC. That's gonna be the new thing. Hopefully the ACC can get a couple teams too, so they can stay relevant. But RP to the Pac-12, best conference there ever was, best conference there ever will be.
Conference of Champions.
NFN Rose said, "We all know Ox loves mid and trash players."
Yo, what's that supposed to mean?
Do you, Ox?
Hey, some people like 5s and 6s. Chill. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm a fan of the underdog. Yeah, I do tend to go with the underdog. But where'd that super chat come from though? What was I talking about?
Mike Conley.
Mid and trash players.
Oh, Mike Conley.
Mike Conley is not mid though. Let's chill out on that. Mike Conley was not mid. He was better.
Hey, when y'all eat pomegranates, y'all eat the seed part too?
I do not eat pomegranates.
Yeah,
I'm allergic to pomegranate.
Oh, okay.
It's too much work trying to do all of that and spit all the seeds out. And
so you eat the seeds, Brian?
No, I don't eat pomegranates.
Oh, it's just too much. Focus, Ox. He just said that.
Ox, name me another Hispanic player. I just said that. Focus. Sure. Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just be wondering if you be seeing your elite content.
How you gonna love basketball if you don't know Spanish players and you Spanish? How is that possible?
Crazy.
Spanish players are easy though, but like Mexican players, stuff like that. Like I understand. Like there's only
Juan Toscano.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's only been Juan Toscano, Nahara.
Right. And as a Mexican-born person who loves basketball, you would know that. Just like Mars knows, being from Britain, Mars knows the British players that play in the NBA.
Mars, who's the British?
Shah Ben Gordon, man. Shah Ben Gordon.
Ben Gordon,
6 man of the year.
He from out there.
Ben Gordon was British.
Yeah. Ben Gordon, Lou Aldine, Jeremy Sohan, OG Anunoby.
Shout out Louis. Man, shout out Louis, man.
How do you? These are your people. How do you not know that? And it's not like Mexican players are littered all over the NBA. There's only a few of them that played in the NBA. So because there's only a few of them that played in the NBA, how do you not know that?
All I know one thing. Shout out Louis.
Oh,
For
shit,
real.
let's talk about it.
I didn't know. So hold on. Does Ben Gordon he speaks with accent? Because I've never heard him talk.
I've never heard him speak either. But I know
I would assume so.
I don't know. He might have grown up in the US. I don't know. I just know he born in London.
Oh, okay.
Because
he went to UConn. I'm thinking, did he come straight to UConn from over there, or if he grew up over there?
I think he grew up in New Rochelle, in New York.
Oh, okay.
He was born in London.
But Luol Deng is definitely from the UK. I know that for a fact.
Well, he was born in Sudan, but grew up in the UK.
That's what I'm talking about.
He was
Shout
a
out to
refugee.
kid Louis.
Yeah, I did know that. That part I did know.
All right, y'all. Almighty Lambo said, blame TCU, Big Ox.
Why are we blaming TCU?
Well, it's the simple logic that a team that is borderline a college football playoff team, if they go there and they get spanked the way TCU got spanked last year, then it makes the college football playoffs underwhelming. So you want to put the most competitive teams there.
Even if that's true, Ron, just because you get smoked does not mean you didn't belong. Like we earned the right to be here. We just got our ass kicked. That's all.
Right. That's like saying the March Madness. Even though the past 3-4 seasons, there's been some more upsets. That's like saying the March Madness, we need to get rid of the 16, 15, and 14 seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
UNLV beat Duke in the national championship by 30. That doesn't mean Duke didn't earn the right to be in the national championship.
All right, y'all. Durr Television said FSU is being penalized for not scheduling a tougher schedule. Texas and Alabama scheduled each other while FSU played no tough teams out of conference.
They play in a Power 5 conference. What difference do it make? Who we got to play outside the league? We play in a Power 5 league. And because we play in a Power 5 league, we play the best teams in the country. Period. Week in and week out. And let's talk about Alabama having Louisiana Lafayette on their schedule. We don't talk about that.
Let's talk
about Alabama having teams like West Texas on their schedule.
Let's talk about it. Hey, you know what? With all this college football talk, I got one question for y'all. Y'all think Offset still been going to them games?
Oh damn!
Yeah, I asked about that in the chat. Why did everyone just stop talking about Colorado? Like, that was a staple of the show.
Because
I was on here every day. I was hearing about Colorado.
You see, Mars,
crickets.
Colorado would be in the national championship right now, but they scheduled a schedule that was too tough. And
so imagine if Colorado would have ran the table.
I told you.
Can you imagine if Colorado would have ran the table?
Last I heard was after that Oregon game where they got destroyed. Since that moment, didn't hear anything.
I believe the word.
Don't forget. It was coming into this year. It was racist. It was racist to go against Colorado.
It was.
It was racist to talk.
That was used, Mars, was pummeled. Is what happened when they played against Oregon.
Yeah, they got concussed against Oregon, and it ain't been the same ever since.
Hey, all I'm saying is wins. Hey, wins over clicks.
All right.
It sounds like they ain't got many wins, but
wins over clicks, y'all.
Al Booger has been a member for the last 4 months. Y'all should follow in his footsteps and become a member for the next 4 months. Also, if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and do that right now. If you're not subscribed yet, it's no better time to do that right now. Trust me, it's only going to get better. I think Thursday, it's going to be a lot of fireworks Thursday. I don't know, it just feels something mystical about Thursday is going to happen. Also, if you haven't been to playerschoicemerch.com, go check it out. Dirt TV, or Dirt Television, my bad, with another super chat said, by the way, college football headquarters is in Dallas.
Just said jump on a bird and go out there. Let's go see these dudes.
I'm talking about parents see the touchdown. If my son was on that team, I'm touching down to Dallas today.
Make it make sense, guys. What's going on? What y'all doing, man? Explain this.
Alec Tanksley said Liberty went undefeated too.
And Liberty may
conference.
Even if let's just say for the sake of argument, they not. So this is the hypocrisy with college football. It's ridiculous. This is the hypocrisy with college football. That's why I'm not a college football fan. Your logic, Ron is definitely an advocate of it. You from a tougher neighborhood than me. That's why you can whoop me. Well, come do it then. That's how we get to the bottom of that.
Well, remember all those years Boise State was killing everybody.
Right.
They was getting no love.
None. Beat Oklahoma. Utah beat Alabama. Give me a break.
Yeah, this when they expand out to 12 teams, it's really gonna settle a lot of talks. And I do think a lot of these some of these bigger teams are gonna get popped by teams like Liberty and things like of that nature. With that being said, I feel bad for them Liberty boys because Oregon is about to do them the same way they did Colorado.
That's who Oregon got is Liberty?
No, that's who Liberty got is Oregon. Ooh. Hey, that might be worse than the Georgia and FSU game.
Who knows?
I'm pretty sure I saw Auburn lose to Central Florida a couple of years ago. And Central Florida was undefeated. And they beat Auburn.
Hey, we'll have to see. You know what time it is right now. It's December. These bowl games is about to start,
Yes, they are.
coming like hotcakes. DSG Piccolo said the committee website literally says they look at unavailability of key players that affect postseason performance, as well as strength of schedule.
I don't care. They were undefeated.
Mars, has this segment convinced you to watch some bowl games
Nope.
this December?
What's the opposite of yes, Mars?
Nope.
All right. Artem said SEC have won 13 of the last 17 national titles. People might not like it, but the SEC teams are pretty much guaranteed a spot unless they have 2 losses.
Even though they don't fare in bowl games as a complete conference. Even though they don't fare in bowl games that way. But Alabama, the SEC is definitely a top heavy. It's definitely a top heavy. 100% it is. Because when you start talking about teams like Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and you start talking about teams like that, then it gets tricky. South Carolina, it gets tricky.
Durr Television with yet another super chat. Durr said the college football committee doesn't want to see another 50-point blowout in the playoffs, and putting FSU in would almost guarantee that.
Really? So if Florida State ended up going up against Michigan, you think Michigan beats them by 50? If FSU goes up against Washington beats them by 5 touchdowns? Really?
Hey, 3 at least.
Give me a break, man. Give me a break.
My thing is this. And politicians do it all the time. Don't try to line your pockets pretending like you're saving me from myself.
You're not doing that.
You act like you're saving me from me. You try to line your pockets doing it.
I'm good.
You can't pull that cloth over my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
Makes sense for you,
man.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so we got some big games tonight. We got some big games tonight. Yeah. Let's talk about it right quick. Before we get up out of here, I need predictions on what is going to happen tonight. We got to start off the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers tonight. In-season tournament games, by the way. This is the quarterfinals. Then we got the Pelicans playing the Sacramento Kings tonight. Fellas, what do we think is going to happen? Pacers and Celtics. Mars, I'm starting with you.
I'll pick the Pacers. Yeah, I'll pick the Pacers.
That boy smart.
Yeah, why not? Praying on Boston's downfall. I'll pick the Pacers.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Boston has no Kristaps Porzingis either. They said he got a knee injury right now. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I know he has something going on with his knee.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyrese Halliburton is questionable for tonight, by the way. So,
Yeah, but TJ McConnell, I got the Pacers by 20.
Tyrese Halliburton is questionable tonight, and we all know that the Indiana Pacers can't stop a nosebleed. They are terrible defensively. Book the flight to Vegas for Boston.
Okay.
I think
Come on, bro. Boston finna do these boys dirty tonight.
Hayes.
Tonight. Hold on. Is Halliburton out? If Halliburton's out, I'll just save it.
He's questionable.
Hey,
You got the Pacers regardless, man. You got the Pacers regardless.
Yeah, I got to be a realist. If Halliburton's out, they might as well just, low managed tonight. If Halliburton's playing, and the Pacers continue doing what they're doing, and they get a good win at home against Boston. Show people that they really got game for real.
Expect a huge night from Al Horford too.
I expect Miles Turner to really, start showing Al Horford that the end is really here.
How he gonna do it? Giannis and Joel can't do it. How he gonna do it?
Hey, I was told Miles Turner is this, then Miles Turner is that. So I expect Miles Turner to ball out tonight. All right.
Man, Giannis and Joel can't do it.
All right, y'all. We got a game that is I would say the talent gap isn't as big. I would say these teams are a little more closer and a little more matched. I think this is going to be a tough game for both teams. We got the Pelicans and we got the Kings in Sacramento. How are we feeling about this?
Kings by 60. Praying on the Pelicans' downfall. How dare they get out of my group? Nah. Kings by 60.
Mars that's all Mars.
Yeah, Kings by 60. Sabonis dropping a 40-point triple-double and De'Aaron Fox having 60.
Ox, I think y'all winning a dogfight. I do. Yeah. I think it's a dogfight. I think that Brandon Ingram, I think he's going to give you guys everything that you're looking for. I think Herb Jones is going to do everything he can to slow down De'Aaron Fox. And I think that matchup's going to be really good for him. I think y'all ultimately win. I think y'all ultimately win in the dogfight.
This is my thing about that, Chilltown. Herb Jones is going to be pissed tonight having to guard De'Aaron Fox. It's just nothing. Like, I know people say y'all put these longer defenders on De'Aaron. It's that it doesn't matter. Herb Jones is going to get torched tonight. It's going to be a close one, though. I honestly, it's a coin toss. I can't with certainty and 100% confidence say that we're winning this game tonight. But I know one thing: Herb Jones is about to get torched. I know that.
Man, I really think that the difference in this game, it's not De'Aaron, it's not Brandon Ingram, it's not Sabonis. It is, what are you guys going to do about Zion Williamson? If Zion shows up to ball, that's what I'm saying. If Zion decides to really just say I'm winning this game for us, then it's kind of like Harrison Barnes can't do nothing with him. Keegan Murray don't want to even be on the same side of the floor.
Near Zion.
you see what I'm saying? So unless Sabonis is in there, tussling with him, but I think Zion really goes ballistic tonight. And
you know who it is, right? You know who it is, right? Trey Lyles.
I feel
respect Trey Lyles. Respect Trey Lyles. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh man, what was that super chat earlier, Chill? Just a second ago about.
But don't do that.
All right, never mind. I don't want to put out that.
We got first of all, since we're talking about the Kings, I was trying to keep it cool. We got the best bench in the NBA, hands down. Best bench, best second unit. Our second unit is better than a lot of teams' first unit. Okay? We are the best team in the league. We will win a close one. It's going to be a close game because Zion, we don't got no answer. Trey Lyles is going to do all he can. Harrison Barnes is going to do all he can. We're gonna do what we can. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a close game. Hey, expect a hell of a game for our bench again. We're talking about 45 points off the bench tonight. Watch.
Yeah, this one's close to call, but all I know is I'm watching it from front to finish, front to back.
Your second unit, Ox, with Davion Mitchell and Sasha and Trey,
Leak
and Leak. So your second
unit,
JaVale McGee. Are y'all better than? Is that second unit better than Utah? Not their second unit. Your second unit, is that better than Utah's first unit?
Malik Monk is the best player out of all that whole entire pool. Their starters in our second unit. Malik Monk's the best player.
So Malik Monk. So Malik is better than. Oh my God, this is nuts.
Yeah.
So Malik is better than the Swedish dude. The Finnish dude, not the Swedish dude. The Finnish dude.
Yes.
Why am I drawing a blank on his name, Oz?
Lloyd
Marketing. So you're telling me that, so Malik Monk is better than Lloyd Marketing?
Yes.
You are nuts with that right there. Okay, so your starting five is your first five better than Atlanta? Your second five, is it better than Atlanta?
We're a better team, yes. Our second five, and I'm not even
second
talking
five.
about. I'm not even talking about second
five.
unit. So
No,
there's
second
no
five.
there's no
That's what
yeah
we're
there's
talking
no
about.
Keegan in here. There's no Keegan. There's
Yo,
no Harrison. None of these guys. Our second
we
unit
got to
is better
continue
than-
this
yes.
conversation tomorrow, y'all. J Rob is in the is in the comments going crazy. It is time for the press box, y'all. Okay, we talked about enough hoops for today. It's time to go talk football. So y'all leave this stream just like you left the first stream and came to this stream. Well, leave this stream and go check out the press box.
Come back.
J-Rob, Pluto is a planet, J-Rob.
Hey, let's get those Lady Blue Devils ranked. Let's get that.
Pluto
let's
is a
get
planet,
the Duke Lady Blue Devils. Let's make sure they're ranked. Matter of fact, they did new rankings today. I'm gonna check.
Take it light. Take it. Watch out.
All right, y'all. We out.
Take it light.